This time we're actually live. Properly live. No bait. No messing with you guys live. No joke. Down to earth. Serious. Gucci Gang live. You get what I'm saying? Bruh, Discord is super laggy. Is that just me? Hey! Grimacent, hello. Hello, Vanilla. Hello, True Blade. Seriously, like the earlier stream. Dude, that was actually... I've never done that before. That's a new low for me. That's a new low for me. I've never done that before. And I was like, oh, people in Twitch chat. What the heck, man? Oh, no. Lobster, thank you. Funny Chairman is back. Hilarious. Hairman and Chairman, same thing. We doing any hammer time today? That's the plan. Yeah, I want to do some... The plan is to do some hammer time, but we'll see. Hello, Simula Crumb. One by one. Discord's been kind of laggy. I don't know if that's just me. I jumped to a voice call, and it took like 30 seconds to join. It was weird. Hey, nerd. Hey, grandma. How's everybody doing? How's your, whoops. How's your week been so far? Hobbs? Thank you for the 2-month subs.
Hi,
hello, hello, hello. 1 month away from the new badge. You're currently dying. Yeah, I heard about the ear infection, mate. I used to have ear infections all the time as a kid. There's something like weird with like goes on with your head, you know, like with you know, like it's like nasal infections and gets weird. I don't know. There's something goofy, but yeah. Glad to hear you're dying, mate. Any least favorite heroes at the moment? What are some heroes that are kind of more meta-ish that are annoying? I haven't played a ton of Overwatch super recently. I think Ram's kind of annoying right now. Just the raw survivability and just... But beyond that, it's been okay. Hey, Orbs, copying my colors? What? What are you talking about? What's this logo change? The frick are you talking about? We've had this logo for forever, not for Twitch, but we've had it for other stuff. We just transferred it to Twitch because I think it matched better. Live twice? I want to talk about it. Orb?
Spillo seriously stealing my
Bruh!
Shameless.
Shut the frick up. Shut the frick up, Orb. Congrats on the 10 months. You're almost to a year, mate. I actually have a mildly important question for you, Swallow. Do you think the idea of competitive Overwatch has lost its meaning both regarding ladder and pro play? I think the idea of professional esports has lost a lot of its savor. I think the bubble has burst as soon as like 4 years ago in a lot of esports. And so the player pool of professionalism has shrunk across the board for pretty much every esport. And Overwatch esports has been not dodging those allegations either.
Keep up the fantastic work. You are inspiring the next gen of coaches and players, especially.
Yo, what's up, Dryas? Long time no chat. Hope you've been doing well, mate.
Goat of all time.
Goat of all time. Rip in peace. I appreciate the sub, mate. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. I have some amazing news, Dry Ice. I don't know if you heard, but I don't know, but you guys remember me talking about me going to Minnesota in June when we did the NACAD National Association of Esports Coaches and Directors? Do you guys remember that when I did the whole Overwatch seminar and I did the whole Q&A? You guys have seen some pictures from it. Like the people were making fun of like Professor Spilo. Dude, it was sick, right? Like the 3-hour Overwatch coaching seminar and the Q&A. Dude, so that was supposed to be a paid seminar on their website. Like you had to pay for it, right? But I negotiated with the organization. I was like, hey, listen, guys, you guys do some great stuff. The whole event was like super sick. It was super professional. It's like nice to see some actual adults in the whole esports scene. Like the professionalism was awesome. But I was like so stoked about like the whole seminar, and I was like so bummed that it was like you had to go on their website and then pay for it. Well, I negotiated, and guess what, chat? We're going to get the entire coaching seminar on how to coach Overwatch at the professional and the unprofessional, the high school, collegiate, or professional level for free. The entire 3-hour seminar with guest appearances from Escort from Overwatch League, broken down by macro, meta, communication, leadership, the entire thing. It's going to be for free. Yes. So it was such a sick experience, so much fun that I was like, dude, this is like Overwatch gold. We have to do it, dude. I was like, please. I was like, listen, we can use this as an opportunity to like share about NACAD because their organization is awesome, and so we got it. So I don't know when it'll be live, but we are gonna get the full 3-hour seminar of me yapping like a professor. We had the biggest seminar there actually. So it was the event itself had a couple hundred people, and then we all split off into different games. Orb, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. And I think we had like 35 people in that little, like, basically it was like a classroom, right? And we had the biggest seminar, and we broke up into groups, and it was sick. It was great. So that's going to be public at some point. You're very welcome. And not a height coaching seminar or a hair coaching seminar. No, I would never leak my secrets about those things. Nice, Orb. Congratulations, Orb. Well done. So proud of you. You think any devs will be there to take notes on how to improve the tutorial? I have talked with, Megan, who's the community manager, about potentially doing some work into the tutorial and maybe something, maybe down the road. I don't have any idea of if that will ever happen, but I have offered that in case they ever want to put the resources into that. But there are a lot of things that they have to worry about right now. What about a strength coaching seminar? I would say I'm a relative noob to that. I'm to the average population. I do put a lot of time into that, but I'm also like more generally like broad with my fitness stuff. It's like I do spend a lot more time in like speed work and like athletic stuff, and so. Orb the goat, yes. As bad as a tutorial is, what I'm mad about is the quality of hero mastery. Yeah, true. I'm with you, Pope. Hero mastery is honestly just kind of like a fun little PvE gimmick. It's really not a educational mode almost at all. Cheers, Orb. Have a lovely lunch with your mom. Tell your mom I said hello. And she'll be like, who? And you'll be like, I can't tell you. Hey, what's up, mate? It really shouldn't be a gimmick. I agree with you, yeah. But, it is what it is. I have one of the reviews today, and also an evacuation zone for hurricane flood, but can't miss it. Nice, dude. Sauce, we're gonna kill it, mate. Good luck with safety. It's kind of a bummer. We were supposed to get hit with like a ton of thunderstorms last night. They legit dodged all of us. Like we've got rain for like the last like 14, 15 hours, but like no thunderstorms, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, so we have a quick replay code review with the sauce. Safety in Tampa, mate. I used to have friends over in Tampa. I used to live in Florida. I remember the 2005 with all the hurricanes starting with I think it started with Charlie. That was intense. But we got a code here. This was a win, but I had complaints from my team about doing low healing output, so I'm struggling to understand what I should be healing, focused on, or just shooting. So let's cook. You want thunderstorms? I do like thunderstorms. Hey. Katrina, yep. No, sorry, 2004. 2004, not 2005. Katrina was 2005. I remember Katrina as well, obviously. But Katrina didn't hit Florida as much, was obviously a lot more Louisiana, so. You like the thunderstorms until your power goes out? We haven't had too many issues with power with where we live, but yeah. Used to live in Florida, explains so much, yes. Hi guys, do you like my hairline? Yeah. Help! I'm shrinking! Okay, Spylo, but he's a dwarf. Okay, let's take a look here. For backstory, I'm a former semi-pro Counter-Strike player. Last played for a top 25 NA team. I no longer play competitively. Widder, thank you for the sub. Nice hair. I appreciate the sub. I no longer play seriously after that. No longer play competitively. I believe I have the mechanical skill to be productive in Overwatch, but I'm still probably losing my team games from unconscious mistakes and would like to get feedback in general positional tracking, general philosophy, goals, and team fights in certain situations. Okay, sounds good. I want to focus on support around high gold, low plat. Where are you at right now, Sauce? Plat? Yeah, I need to change the headline here, which is why I'm asking. Mid-high plat. Lovely, 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 lovely. Plat. Baptiste. Coaching. Play around 4 hours a day for the past couple of weeks. Goals. I'm enjoying the challenge of mechanical and tactical challenges. I want to hit Grandmaster at some point. Understanding ultimate tracking, positioning, who should be healing alive, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Yeah, nothing super crazy here. We'll get into it. Baptiste, yes. Baptiste. What height reveal? Yeah. Some of you guys have seen me in real life, right? You realize how incredibly tall, muscular, and how incredibly pleasantly aromatic I am. Yeah, that wasn't the choice here. Okay, so let's talk about BAP here. So BAP basically is the definitive pressure outputter in one of the least interesting ways, I think, but one of the more mechanically challenging ways. I'm not 5'7". It's not even close. I'm like a solid half an inch over 5'8" without even wearing shoes. So basically the idea with BAP is that you want to find a nice little sightline that plays your effective range, which can be short, medium, or long, depending on what you're playing. You're pretty flexible, but generally medium to long. And just basically do damage and healing and constantly do damage and healing, and that's basically it. You can utilize your regenerative burst and lamp to sustain yourself or somebody else in the meantime, but like of all the characters, your utility is pretty much straightforward in terms of just sustain, putting out pressure constantly, and just doing that as much as you possibly can. So this person, Sauce, talks about, like, I got flamed for not healing as much here, which, you know, that's going to happen here. But you want to be basically maintaining and sustaining pressure, like, at all times on whatever and anything that you possibly can and do so safely. Like, for example, like right now, this is fine because we know where Winston is and he can't dive us with where we're at. We're also playing our effective range versus both the Juno and the Reaper, and we're taking space at the same time. You could be assisting and healing your Ramatra in here, and maybe that's probably the safer play here, but I actually don't hate this all that much. Your Ramatra could just live and hold block here, and as long as you secure a kill here, yeah, there it is, right? It's totally worth it. The problem here is the proximity, right? I don't want your cooldowns getting forced just because you got too close for no reason whatsoever. What time is the TimtheTatman coaching? I'm not sure. It might be right after this. We haven't really decided yet. So you got your regenerative burst and you're going to get your lamp force just because you got a little too close. Whereas here, all you really needed to do was finish off this kill here, banger, and then drop to this side of the point and maintain your pressure, right? Just maintain distance. You're going to get your burst force anyway, but you'll be in a better position to actually get kited out and get healing and then be able to do continually more damage. So I kind of like the way that we're playing the game right now, but I don't like the how we're doing it, if that makes sense. You have the idea, like, you are putting out consistent offensive pressure. I really like this. I even liked your initial starting position, but your proximity became a problem, which then meant it compromised your ability to sustain yourself, which then meant you didn't do damage. Like, the reason why, what's up, Astro Panda? Congrats on the new badge. The idea is that if you can maintain your distance, not a million miles away, but play your effective range, you can do more damage for longer instead of panicking and right. You know, when you're dead, you're not doing damage. When you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you're not doing damage. That's basically it. Spacing, right? Like, this is a proper spacing as long as they're not on Widowmaker, because you could just basically sit there and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, and they have to commit so far to actually access you. How selfish should it be with my CDs, and how far should I stretch myself to save my teammates? So, with your regenerative burst, be completely opportunistic, and with your lamp, be completely opportunistic. Remember, your burst has a limited range, so focus on your positioning for maximum heal and damage pressure, and then just burst when you need to. Same thing goes with your lamp. That's it. Like right now, why weren't you in the room with your Mercy? Because this is a horrible sightline for you to be. It's way too congested. Could you have saved your Mercy here? Maybe. But honestly, the feedback loop for BAP is just basically like take a sightline that plays to your strengths and just don't waste your CDs. I appreciate it, Nova. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the subscription. So like right now, do you notice how the only nitpick I really have here is that you needed to be tighter to cover. So you needed to be rotating and bouncing closer to here or here. But because you're managing your range a little bit better here, look what this Tracer has to do to force your burst. Watch. 1, and recall. And honestly, you may not even get the burst. Yeah, just a little bit of a lack of awareness there with your cover. But do you see how there has to be a cooldown commitment to access you because you manage your range a little bit better? So yes, I think the crucial issue here is that the spacing here is good, but you're bouncing around on like a pogo stick and in the middle of nowhere, and so you're going to get clipped. Right. Yeah. So the spacing was better there, but your cover usage was a lot worse. Probably didn't need an immortality field there. You need to know that matchup. You need to trust that your Ramattra will press block, and you'll be able to make the read from here. But again, positioning here, heal and damage, very good. It's fine. That's just why we hindsight coach you, right? You need to save your lamp until it's needed. And with a Ramattra in Nemesis form, you have lots of time to react. If he dies immediately, that's his fault, not yours. Spacing here, spacing here, spacing here. Do you see it? It's still messy, right? So here, you need to immediately rotate with a little bit more cover to where you can drop a little bit sooner. Not the worst cooldown trade ever. You notice the spacing again is the problem. The spacing again is a problem. Small adjustment. Where should we rotate to from here, chat? With where the Winston is, where should we rotate from here? Sometimes I feel like I have a great position, but it's not in a spot to heal my team, and I have to forfeit that to try and heal. Yes, that's the case. That might be the case, but if you were able to put out consistent healing and damage pressure, then you don't need to worry about your positioning. Yeah, I don't like this. This is too close from where the Winston's going to assault you from. I think the best adjustment is just to simply place yourself a little bit closer to here. Just a little bit further back, right? Where you can maintain pressure here, maintain pressure here. You don't need to be in this Juno's face. I like the idea of what you did with the window. I think the window will probably win you guys this fight, but this becomes so much less comfortable, and you notice that you get basically bullied out of your window because you're too close to the Winston. How to use cover there while having sightlines? Well, here, sightline here, sightline there. Normally, you don't have to worry about this here because most enemies will be here, but we knew that they were there, so this was the wrong sightline to choose. Same thing here. Where do we need to be? Where's the cart fight going to break out? On the freaking cart. So then where should we be, chat? Where should we be? Stay right here, play Kovacs, play CS, just lock in. That's it. That's it. Don't do this, no pogo stick crap, right? Stop bouncing around. This is a nervous tick. It's also throwing off your aim here. Look at this. None of this was earned. If you simply sit on this corner here, you stop jumping, you could stand still and just play aim trainer. That's it. Create some distance here. Make that Winston hard commit on you. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. You know? That's it. That's it. It's just a big giant mess. Now, I want to curious to see what happens with your Ramattra here. Yeah, okay, so this is one other thing with your sustain as well. You need to prioritize who you can actually assist. After that heal misses, you're just not going to be helping this guy. He's a freaking flyer. Focus on sustaining your Hanzo. Focus on sustaining your Ramattra. Now, your Ramattra is a big, giant doo-doo head. Because he's here, He's discorded, and he's just punching through a damage-boosted Zenyatta and Winston. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. This guy has brain rot. It's over. Like, he's honestly, it's a lost cause. But you should have still at least put some support on him. Would that have saved his life? No. But it's a concerning habit that you're trying to heal the wrong targets here. Now, he was probably the one flaming you about the lack of sustain, but the guy's a jackass. You would not have been able to keep him up there. That being said, I'm still freaking ticked that you didn't even try. Should I heal people even when I know that they're going to die? I mean, no. But you didn't know that he was going to die. You would have expected that he would have had, like, you know, at least one functioning brain cell and pressed block, right? So my point being is that in hindsight, nothing would have saved him. But you didn't know that. You didn't know that. You would have assumed that we block here, you sustain him up, and then you weave, right? Are you familiar with weaving sauce? I've seen you do it a couple of times, so we haven't put as much emphasis on it. But are you familiar with weaving? I mean, if he blocks, he lives forever here. But yeah, if your tank is unsavable, then don't worry about it. Yeah, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, or shoot, heal. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's a perfect weave opportunity there, because if you look at where he's positioned, if you're here, then you have a Winston bubble and a ramp. Like, this is perfect, right? Like, tank trading, just no crosshair movement required at all. Perfect. This is where BAP is like, this is BAP heaven, right? Ram doesn't even need to block LOS's Zen. He just needs to sit there and block. Guys, this is freaking Ramatra. 90% damage reduction. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Ramatra, Overwatch. Sorry, we're going on a segue here. No, 75%. 75%. Plus armor. Plus, I think armor stacks, no? It's ridiculous. So nothing kills him, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Discord has an additive or subtractive effect. It's multiplicative, at least it should be, of the overall damage reduction. So it's not like, oh, you minus 25%. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's multiplicative of the original damage input, or multiplicative of the over damage input. Yes, armor bug too, right? From what we know, I don't know all the details. Nice. Maintaining range, just keep taking space. Don't peek that, please. Very reasonable lamp, very reasonable regenerative burst. Maintaining distance, just keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. I would prefer the Winston just because he's closer. That range, your fall off is kind of a problem. But yeah, I mean, this is it. Like, you held a sight line, you healed people, you shot people, you had enough range, you also played cover appropriate, and you just win the ball game. Congratulations. It's not complicated, you know? It's not complicated. Discord orb is not additive from damage. Discord orb, if it is additive, maybe we're talking about like tomato here. But for damage output, it always multiplies the damage on input. So in other words, when you have a damage boost source of, like, let's say 30%, and you have a damage boost, say, of 100%, like let's say you're shooting through a BAP window while damage boosted, it's 230% because you add the 100% of the BAP window plus the mercy. It's not 200% times 30%, because then that would be even stronger. But when you add a Discord orb, because it's a debuff, it does multiply the incoming damage. So a damage source that does 40, let's say 20 damage on a Ramatra is multiplied even after, it doesn't matter whether it was damage boosted or not damage boosted, it does not matter. If it does 20 damage, it's going to do 25. Regardless of how many damage boost sources go in. I don't know how armor is calculated through that, but that's how Discord Orb has been since its inception. Because there was a lot of really important calculations about how useful was Discord Orb versus other damage boost sources, and while damage boost becomes diminishing returns, Discord Orb does not. Nerd emoji. Maintain your range, just heal and damage, heal and damage, heal and damage. Your RAM is so stupid. Your RAM deserves to be locked up. You're too close. Maintain your range. I'm unsure if your example with Mercy Pocket with Bapwin is correct. It's how it used to be. So if it's different, they've changed the way the damage boost is calculated. But the reason why that was the case because otherwise damage boost became multiplicatively more broken. So every secondary and tertiary application of damage boost became more and more and more strong. Same thing with Bongo back in the day. This is fine, just don't feed punch. This is a good position though because you have a nice sight line. You can see enemy team nice. You can see your team. You're managing your range versus what you're playing, especially the Doom, the Sombra, the Genji. There's no reason for you to get closer. And that's it. I don't think that burst was necessary, and I also don't like that you walked forward. I guess you were thinking about dodging the punch, but really important that you don't just use your burst. It is a very, very important cooldown because it has the burst healing, right? So you get hacked there. And man, you just got annihilated. You probably needed to lamp and shift this sooner, but that's just a damage boosted Genji. I think he's got lingering damage boost. Discord multiplies other damages because it applies to multiplying the damage being received. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Then tomato, because we're saying the same thing. My point is that damage Discord is multiplicative. The other boosts, the other are additive. Additive is weaker than multiplicative. Because additive is only the same as multiplicative on the first application. It's fine. Your diva's dumb. This is okay, so this is where we're having our problems. This is where we're having our problems. I know that Sombra's dead, but in no world is this where I want to see my Baptiste. No world. You need to find a sightline to do exactly. It's the range management here. You feeling yourself mechanically, and so you have the tendency to walk forward. You can deepen your sightline here. You could rotate to here. You can even do your bouncy bungee jump crap here if you want to. Heck, you could even rotate to here where at least there's a little bit of range here. What's my max deadlift? I haven't max deadlifted in 11 years, and it was only 415. Like 300, right? Nice shots. But you notice that you're managing your range here? This is so much better. This is much better. Much better. Okay, good. We're good. Pop it. Pop it. Pop it. Papa, papa. Nice shot. Good. Yes. Yes. Good. 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 You manage your range. Everything's cooking. Good job. Careful. Sure. Wide seeing equals W, right? I mean, even here, okay, so this is also here. I really think here, there isn't a reason for you to necessarily rotate to here. Does it increase your sightlines? Yes, but by only a marginal amount. You still have a pretty solid angle here with literally more than double the distance, right? So I don't really see the reason for you to be here. You honestly out-mechanic this guy, but you should die here, and you probably will die here most of the time in plat. It's just a range problem. Bap is a better soldier. I mean, this guy just has really good mechanics, right? Like, this is CS mechanics right here. Perfect timing to make that point. But yeah, you can kind of see, like, the range management is by far your biggest issue right now. And by the way, you notice that I wasn't critiquing you for letting your diva get demacked earlier? Why? Because you had reasonable pressure. It was worth it. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So, really, your issues are relatively simple. Poor cover usage, poor range management, which is forcing poor cooldown usage. But the problem, at least so far, is not the cooldown usage. Or not the cooldown usage, because it's the range management and your lack of cover that's forcing... Yes, and the jumping, thank you. That's forcing you to utilize your cooldowns poorly. And there's no big dramatic discussion about sustain or not healing enough. I mean, there's been some moments where you could have healed a little bit more, but there's also been some moments where you've tried to heal the wrong person, the person that you can't really reach, or like someone that's flying. I have a hair in my eye. But this is relatively straightforward for you. Do you have any questions so far? Now, I will say that Bap is not exactly the most strategically complex character either, but yes. I think weaving more would fix that. That's true as well. Looking for opportunities to weave, yes. If I'm farther away, putting damage and heal only, but my team is dying, is that on me? Yes. Like, let me give you an example. When we're talking about farther away, we're not talking about 40 meters, okay? It's really, really freaking simple. Where the frick is Bap? Okay.
Another day, another battlefield. No cure.
Actually, I can do one better than that. Baptiste to Overwatch. Fall off range 25 to 45 meters. Your full damage right here. Full damage right here. Unless you're playing into Widowmaker, I don't want you playing like this. You were choosing angles and positions like this. This is Violet Overwatch for those of you guys that follow professional Overwatch. It's dumb. I like the proactivity, but proactivity does not equal proximity. Do you understand me? Proactivity does not equal proximity. I'm not asking you to be here. In fact, I think that's usually very bad because you don't do enough damage and it's too hard to hit your healing. Okay? This versus some heroes is going to allow you to do more damage because you're not going to be running for your life. Remember, that's the problem here. We want you to do more damage, but we want damage to be in a position to where you can do more damage. Like if we go back to that code there one more time at the end of the reason why you felt under so much pressure and kind of compromised your damage output was because your proximity was a problem. What the frick? So that then you, instead of just chilling and shooting people in the noggin, you were like freaking out, man. Chill out, dude. Like, let's watch it, right? Where are we? Okay, so this is it right here. So then here, we're just chilling. I mean, look, you freaking got play of the game here. Look at this. Easy. So hard for that Genji to commit on you. And then here you're like, oh man, I'm going to pop off. Get the frick back on the angle that you're on, jackass. Like, hold the position you were here, or maybe even like hold the position here. This is perfect, right? This is a commitment from the enemy team, and it's still playing within your fall-off range. This is perfect right here. It's not about being less aggressive. It's just the proximity. And again, it's not playing a sniper angle either, right? Because that would be bad too. But yeah, okay, let's see how you apply it here. All you're worried about is pressure. How much healing and damage pressure am I doing? Like, for example, right here, you're making a choice. You're choosing, I'm going to choose my DPS angle over weaving my heal and shooting the enemy tank. This is a bit of the only really strategic fundamental that we've talked about so far, but so let's talk about it a little bit. Because you lose a lot of healing value here. Because you can't heal and damage at the same time, because the crosshair movement from healing here and damaging here, it's just not reasonable, and you'd have to be close to even do it, right? Which is, again, a problem. So you're going to prioritize basically hard DPSing here, or you're going to have to play too close. It's not bad. It's not necessarily bad, because the damage or the healing that you're failing to do on your RAM will be compensated with a better sight lane to pressure the enemy backline, which will mean less damage on your RAM. So it's a choice. I still would probably prefer the weaving behind RAM, and then as the map opens up, swinging wide here. I don't think you get a good enough angle there. But you notice that because you choose the angle, your proximity to heal your team puts you at a risk of getting shot by Cassidy, by Sigma, by Venture, and so on. You see that? You see that? And that's so you get cleared out. It's a problem. And then you get your cooldown force. It's a problem. So you either needed to commit on this and play a range like this, trust the voices, or you needed to get here and weave your tank. Your choice. You did neither. You suck. Okay. You get what I mean. Like right here is an opportunity to weave. This is an opportunity to weave. Why? Because what are we shooting? A stream looks okay on my end, Fancy Man. What are we shooting here? What kind of a crosshair movement are we talking here? Right? It's just shield, right? It's shield. It's easy. Anybody can do this. A 4-year-old could do this. So why not shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal? Right? It's super simple. So you should be weaving here. It's free value. You might be thinking, oh, my RAM's not missing that much HP. Yeah, but heal's a heal, you know? So So whenever your crosshair movement is limited, you need to be weaving. The only time you don't weave is when your crosshair movement is aggressive, or, for example, like right here, there's a moment where you don't weave and I'm okay with it. Like right here, if that Juno was like, okay, this one is bad, but like let's say that Juno was 1 HP, your first priority is on finishing this kill, not weaving, because there's a burst of opportunity here, if that makes sense. This is where you need to be weaving. You're forgetting the weave. You're forgetting the weave, and look at how easy the damage output is. Right? Look at that. Look at that. He's literally standing in front of the ramp. You actually wouldn't even need to move your crosshair at all. You could just tap the right click or whatever, right? So keep an eye on that. Yeah, no worries, Fancy Man. Thanks for the heads up. Whenever you guys have stream stuff, always let me know so that I can panic. That's always really healthy for me. So the weaving needs to be improved. It is a very difficult mechanic to always recognize because it always has to be in the back of your head. But yeah, it's something you need to improve at. Again here, like here, damage heal, damage heal, damage heal. It's right there, you know? Your ram's right there. It's okay to lock in if somebody's low. It's okay to lock in if the crosshair movement's too aggressive, but neither of those apply here. So you're right. Your team was right to an extent. You're not healing enough. Would that have changed some of their deaths earlier? No, maybe, maybe not. Because, like, you know, like, for example, like your Ram entering this fight at full HP rather than missing a little bit of HP, or your Pharah being damage boosted more because your Mercy hasn't had to babysit the Ram quite as much would be useful. Definitely need to be weaving here. Yeah, see, this is the problem. This is the first really dumb damage that you've done yet. This is the really dumb damage because look at the situation here. So your Ram is under a lot of pressure. Nobody's low. The Sigma's shifting. And then they're inside of a supportal that heals them for a lot. A lot. And what do? You first off, don't back up to a deeper angle. Like your Ram, I think, is probably dead regardless, right? But then you actually lock in and start shooting. No, it's not happening. I heard BAP was always only to heal, to get people not to die, then focus on DPS, which is the thing that was in my head. Right, that's total misinformation. It's not bad in the intention of the advice, which is to, like, you know, you should try to put out pressure, which is true. But in situations when you can easily do both, you should do both. So what I want you to practice is recognize the situation. Is it just easy shield pressure, easy tank pressure, and I got somebody to heal in front of me? Then weave. If the answer is, oh, no, it's not, somebody's critical, then heal. Oh, it's not, there's somebody isolated, then just damage. There's situations when only damage, situations when only heal, and there's situations when both. And your skill is not just your ability to do both, but to recognize in which one it's appropriate. You got me? So your problem here is that you made the wrong decisions in with what you're doing. Practicing the weave and range, right? So what you can practice is not just practicing the weave, but practicing when you should be weaving, I think, is really what you need. Because we've seen some weaving here, and it's okay. Mechanically, it's looked all right. It's not really a problem. Like right now, for example, you're not weaving. Why? Because he's fine. There's nobody here, right? A little far from cover. Yeah, it's just the Florida man stuff, I think. I think these guys are just... It's fine. A little close to Sigma spam, as you can see. It's kind of a problem, and you don't press your shift. That's okay. It happens to the best of us. We get res. What the frick happened to our lamp? Oh, we popped out and immediately lamped. That's fine. Good weaving. Again, weaving. Right there. You see that? Right there. Weave. Weave. Sir. Sir. Now damage, because the weaving would take too much crosshair placement. You see that? Or crosshair movement, right? Now weave, because we're going to have shield and ram. A little far from cover, will we get punished? You're a little early with a burst. You need to hit the burst as you hit the floor. Wouldn't have saved your ram, but yeah. You could just drop to the floor there. This is fine, though. Is that cool choice also influenced by your CD usage, like playing more passively, positionally, without CDs and shooting them out, healing from cover? Sure. So your ability to hold more proximitous totally making up that word. I don't know if that's a word or not. Can somebody confirm if that's a word? Holding angles with greater proximity when you have CDs. So like, let's say you want to gamble. You want to get a little bit closer on an angle. If you have CDs, sure. Sure. If you don't, maybe playing a little bit more range. Sure. So weave is an opportunity skill and not moving into a position to weave. Not necessarily, no. You need to look at the situation where can I put out the most damage and where can I put out the most healing, and then weave when you see the opportunities. It is a word. Oh my gosh. Dude, the greatest. This is what happens when you have a brain with the propensity for being able to find patterns and logic in speech. They really should write a book about me, honestly. So like just weave when I can and try to not move somewhere to weave. Yeah. You're just for right now, you're too close for the HP that you have. And so you're dead, yeah. Because of Pogo. And that is also true, yes. So you get a choice here. You can go here. Okay, so this is going to kind of answer your question, Sauce. Would weaving here be effective? Yes or no? Would weaving here be effective? Like walking out here and weaving, healing, and damage be effective? Yes. Would strict damage here or strict damage peeking out this angle here be effective? And by effective, oh yes, right. Like, are you going to be able to stay there for very long? Probably not. Will you cause a lot of chaos, put out a lot of pressure? Yes. So the question is, which one should you do? Because this directly answers your question about what should I be pursuing with my positioning with Baptiste. Should I play more passive damage and heal oriented, or more aggressive damage with not as much opportunity to heal? So more team weaving or selfish angle. Which one should you do? I feel like if my team is grouped like that, the weave has higher value. Sure. Basically, the answer is it depends. It's your call. It doesn't really matter that much. That's the answer. Okay? Because if you go back to where we were here, you were being a lot more focused on weaving instead of the solo damage angle here. Which one was better? Probably the weaving, because peeking a sniper at this angle wouldn't have felt all that good, right? But my point being is that there are options, and you can practice making that choice on your own, but you can also practice executing on whatever choice that you make. So if you want to jump here, I'm going to coach you on your execution of this decision, not just the decision itself. And the same thing here. It's up to you. It's your choice. Just do it well, whatever you do. So now you've chosen the team option. Okay, so I want to see some good weaving. Where's my weaving? 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 Where the frick is my weaving? Right? And you see, that's the problem. The problem was not the choice. The problem was the execution. You sucked with the execution, right? And this isn't a surprise, right? You've struggled with this so far. I want to compliment you on your choice of strategy. The choice of strategy was good. It's all right. You just didn't execute on what we needed to do. That's all. You had two people directly in front of each other, and you didn't bother to heal or damage. You did one or the other. And so that's a consistent pattern with you. But that simplifies things, right? So like, you kind of make your read with whatever you want to do. Your character has choices. You're a really strong 1v1 character. You have a lot of tank damage. You have a lot of squishy damage. Like, for example, right now, should you be weaving? Should you be weaving? What's the priority right now? What have you chosen? What have you chosen? Damage, right. So I'm going to grade you on your ability to maintain your range, your target priority, your cover usage, yada, 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 right? But yeah, there's zero chance you weave here. Now, if you wanted to weave, you'd play over here, right? Or maybe you'd play with your Ashe, right? Like you could do a little bit of weaving here, right? So let's see how we do. You choose to go back and heal. That's fine. Choose to poke him out. You're choosing to damage again. And shockingly, it works. It costs you your cooldowns, but it's worth it to use your cooldowns to secure the kill there. And the reason you got the kill is because you were not only damaging, but you were damaging from an off angle as well. So they couldn't hide from four people, at the same time. You created a quandary that this Juno was unable to solve, and you were mechanically good enough, while also maintaining just enough range here to be able to get out of jail. I don't like how you use your regenerative burst. You use your regenerative burst far too early. Remember, it has a burst heal the closer you are to low. I know it's tricky, but yeah. Yeah, seems good. We do it again. Bonko, can I have something to eat, maybe? You it. Brilliant. In a second. Sure. Okay, thoughts on this? What do you think? 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 What do you guys think? What do you think? Saucy. Greedy. Why is it greedy? There's one specific problem with this.
You don't look so good. Nice to be the patient for you.
Not my range, right? So it feels a little bit messy proximity-wise. As long as you understand the risks. I would also question whether it would be better to set up your window from here. Because remember, off angle, right? So they can't hide from both. I don't always need to window your teammates. This is exactly why.
You don't look so good.
You gotta see what I'm saying? Something to consider. You guys have seen me play BAP, right? That's what it looks like. Well, it's because you're simultaneously like either trolling the lobby because your weaving is bad or your management of range is bad. Do you notice how much easier this feels when you're managing your range? You could be really stupid as long as you're managing your range playing cover. No, this guy's BAP. My BAP is so much better. My BAP is so much better. You see what happens when you mismanage your range, you mismanage your cover. That is not a earned cooldown. In other words, they had a commitment. You just mispositioned. Yes, I did teach Landon everything he knew. I was like, Landon, in 2020, grind Baptiste. And he's like, who are you? And I'm like, just trust me, bro. You'll understand. Sure. I mean, this is crazy, but yeah, okay. Manage your range. Don't worry about point. Yeah, I mean that's it. You know, you manage your range, and do you see how easy this was? It's because it was on an angle, it was well timed, and you had played your range. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all. So, BAP. Manage your range versus enemy threats. Not always sniper. Depends on comp, depends on heroes. Because versus a Widow, I would never take that angle, right? Choose DPS or team-oriented pressure, then execute your weave or raw damage heal pressure. Look for opportunities to choose which. Work on pogo, work on cover, and that's it. There's a lot to work on here, but I mean, you have the general principle of what you can be looking for here. That's it. Any questions? You're very welcome. Let's demo it, chat. Surely I won't make any mistakes. What I'll try to do is I'll try to demo not the weapon play so much, because the weapon play I'll be like frankly bad at. I have very few hours on Baptiste, but I'll demo the range management if nothing else. Well, weave when that's what your position allows. That last fight there, if you'd been weaving, it would have been trolling, because you had everybody 1 HP on a hard angle, right? It's finding when is it smart to weave, when is it not. Okay, we're good.
Everyone feeling better?
Getting peeled by my
Cause of death?
Why are Bap's arms so smooth on his skin? I don't know. My man uses lotion, I guess. Ah! Frick. They're like clay. After this, what do you guys want to do? TimtheTatman? Escort guide? I want to do one of those probably before we do React stuff, because I want to get our projects first before we look at posts. By every Doomfist and Ball I play, I wonder why. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll play a dive character. Seriously, think about it, Sauce. Why would you struggle versus Doomfist and Ball? Think back to the review that we just talked about, right? Too close. Right. So managing your rotations, spamming your jumps. Oh. No way he gets two. That was not pretty. But if I'm far, I feel like I get dove and lose and 1-1, right? You got to manage your rotations and manage your range. That also cover helps a lot too. Do I accept that and hope my team capitalizes? Sure. Doesn't mean you're playing totally and completely isolated. Just manage a little bit of distance. Let's pray. Like, don't manage your range like I am here.
Get into the field. Hi there.
Let's pray that we get some sort of a dive character here. What is my goat doing? Dominating what your goat is doing. As a ball player playing Bap and the ball can get really ugly. Yeah, I mean, ball is really good versus Bap. Let's not sugarcoat it. And I think Doomfist is fairly good versus Bap as well. Just because they have capability of setting up on you really easily. But, yeah, where the frick is my boy? And there are a lot of pretty good Bap skins, I'm not gonna lie. Boops me out of your mortality field, right. So we'll focus mostly on the positioning aspect of things. How's the game audio for you guys? Is it too quiet, too loud?
Another day, another battlefield.
That one is here? True, actually,
Your
yeah.
heart is pounding.
Which is the wireless G Pro,
Are you
Mecca?
scared?
Has anyone ever told you that you're kind of a creep?
Yes.
Yes. Alright, Juno, Doom. There won't be as much weaving with this tank matchup because it's very hard to weave with the Doomfist, so I can focus more on my solo angle and not put a pressure and or keeping myself alive. Warrants, I'm not telling you about those. I'm going to predict they're going to be at close proximity left side, so I'm going to rotate right proactively. Oh, they're on Doom. Perfect. That's too long of an angle.
You are completely healed.
Frick, my auto reload kicked in. Using my verticality because I know Doom's gonna punch. Winnable, 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 winnable. I'm listening for Doom.
Someone has to keep you alive.
We have unwelcome company on the objective.
Enemies
Oops.
sighted.
Like I said, don't look at the weapon play. It ain't gonna be pretty. I know Doom is on the left, so...
Appears.
Wait.
Ça, c'est prescription docteur.
I knew she'd come from main, so just maintains my range. I'll feed punch, I don't care. Wait.
You're going to be fine.
He's gonna look for a boop on me, so I need to be careful.
I see one.
The objective is under attack. Cut them down. I repel.
I can't
Claiming the dead.
rotate away from Tracer.
Enemy here.
Just looking for pulse.
A little medicine goes a long way. Incoming.
It's too far. Did not manage my range well versus that Ashe.
Everyone feeling better?
Her movement's really bad, which is making my mechanics look better than they actually are.
Someone has to keep you alive.
I can push this angle as long as I know where the Doom and the Tracer is. We're getting double pocket there.
I'm the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I don't know what Tracer is. I was too close to Doom. Do you see how getting too close punished me? Rotating. Oh! Frick, I messed up. Frick.
Meteor strike.
Juke that.
Stay near the immortality field. Regen up.
I haven't really had the space to pop an ultimate. Frick. So you gotta see, like, I mismanaged my range because I pushed my Reaper, but I should not have pushed indoors. I needed to trust my Reaper. So that's a good one for you, Saucer, where you go, I need to let my Reaper die because if his positioning is so bad for me that if I make that compromise that I'm going to die and probably not be able to save him.
Claiming the dead.
I got you. Got to reload.
Now we can just honestly pop that window as they walk out. Let's actually go ahead and set this up here. Tracer's on my left. Gotta rotate away from Tracer.
Let them out.
Watch your back.
Nice to be the patient for a change.
So a lot of the maintaining my distance with Doom is just listening, right? You guys watch my Hero Misery with Zenyatta, right? Like knowing where they are and proactively rotating as they're setting up, right? And that's really about it, right? I don't have to maintain range on everybody. I shouldn't try to maintain range on everybody, especially with an Ashe on the field. But if I can maintain a little bit of distance on the Doomfist or Tracer, I'm okay.
You need to come on.
You see the new anime skins? Yeah, I'm not really my thing, but I don't really care. Did my aim improve? Not really, no. So Doom is gonna try and roll out. Lucia's gonna try to roll out and boot me off. So my strat here is actually gonna rotate to point. I think I can make this jump, right, chat? I missed lots of words. Yeah.
Let's get you all better.
Look at the commitment.
Enemies sighted.
Do you see the commitment they needed for that? And they should have died for that if I'd been a little better mechanically. All right, let's rotate on here.
The objective is now active.
Healing you up.
Oh, frick. He's dead.
A round of healing. Immortality field deployed.
Frick. Frick. I needed to drop sooner. I think I jumped on accident. My bad.
I need help here.
Yes, that's right. Swallow not playing his range there. Yeah. Once Doom dropped, I needed to find somewhere with cover.
Ça c'est prescription docteur.
Oi. Alright, she's fine. I needed to just stop and heal there first.
Locking satellite vector.
I'm gonna try and heal him. Hide. Frick. Too close. And he had the speed and damage boost. That's crazy.
How about I try that again?
I see you.
Healing you up.
I know Tracer's there. I don't like this rotation.
A challenger. Light them up. Meteor strike.
Do something!
Oh, I didn't even know she was there. Oh, I egoed it. I don't know why I egoed it. That's my bad.
Claiming the dead.
I managed my range perfectly there, and I just fumbled it.
That wasn't my best shot.
Come on, everyone!
Over here. Over there.
Yeah, I egoed it for way too long. I don't even know why. There was no point egoing it.
Reloading. 1 sec.
Enemy sighted.
That was weird.
Ready for a knockout. Someone has to keep you alive. Get into the field. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Frick. We should have been able to punish that. We were down to Genji though. That's where like you're gonna die like as best you can, because for me to be able to participate in that fight, I wasn't able to play an angle I was happy with. I might have been able to rotate the bridge, but even that was awkward. Hey Vrashi.
Locking satellite vector to orbit!
Oy.
Round 2 lost.
It's hard for Spylo's aim to improve since he's already perfect with it. That's true, actually. Self-reviewing? No.
1-1.
No. Alright.
My body's gone, but my will
Just some other wannabe. Well, we're doing some follow-up BAP rotational coaching, not BAP mechanical coaching.
dead weight gets left behind.
Okay, let's do this.
Come on.
Hello.
5, 4,
Your CD usage is way more disciplined. Sometimes I read my cooldown usage, but I try to read the situation as best as I can, so I can min-max my output of pressure.
Here with a cure. Wait for it.
Cover. Aw, I egoed my lamp a little bit.
is now active.
I think with, okay, so the one thing there is like, that's one of those situations where I just need to lamp sooner. And if I lamp sooner, I'm going to die. Okay, so that right there, I die no matter what happens there. I die no matter what happens there. My team needed to be there to punish and they weren't there to punish. But I can force more out by living an extra second longer, right?
A challenger.
I am
Regenerate. Over here. Over here.
Or just being better mechanically, that also helps as well.
Face my burning face.
Whoops.
Send me someone has to keep you alive.
And you could also be more dynamic with my rotations as well. Like, I think I could have rotated further away to anticipate that as well. Being a little bit sneakier. Something I was a little bit more focused in on a Zen.
Over there.
Over here.
Ha! Incoming.
Didn't even force my shift, right? I need that shift. I'll feed punchies one.
I always slip
So here I didn't need to rotate as much because my distance was so much. I mean, this is actually great. Like, look at what we're playing into, you know? So this is like crazy dive, right? Crazy speed, right? Yes, yes it is. Like, I need to make my death expensive is kind of what we're looking at here.
ready for a knockout.
So he's rotating a point.
Stay alive for me.
I just needed to lamp that. I needed to lamp that, and I could have also rotated that. I didn't even know where the Genji came from, honestly.
I ring chaos.
This is just a skill check. This is a game where if I play well, I will literally single-handedly carry because I will just take all the attention and live. I like these type of games. I like being punished for my mistakes. I don't like having like, oh, I could have done more.
Got the victory fever. Meteor strike. Stay near the immortal.
That's another situation there where I could have jumped and landed on the other side towards my team. I got too greedy trying to avoid the ult, and I messed it up. Yeah, no audio in the Genji, yeah.
Watch out.
We're gonna try and push this, I think.
I am on the objective. Report here now.
They're hunting.
Immortality field deployed.
Frick.
Here with the cure. Let them up.
Come on, man. Frick. That's okay. They overcommitted for it. We might be able to get a trade. It's like Dead by Daylight. You either lose, you either win, or you die. That's it.
Every day gives you a second chance.
We trade evenly here. We should be able to walk here.
The objective's in my hands.
Okay, that's punch. Frick.
Over here. Seizing the objective. Rally here.
This is why you hire a professional. I see why.
So somebody took the attention away from me there because they were focusing me, so I'm allowed to play the game, right? Alright, so now I'll just play backside a point and expect a rollout. I'm a little concerned about my Juno, but...
I see one.
Welcome to orbit.
Claim the dead.
Enemy here. Meteor strike. In tip-top shape. Now this is a fatal attack.
That's it. I live, I'm able to rotate away, we win. If I don't, I lose. That's it. It's not always going to be that much pressure on you. There's going to be situations where the pressure is you're not going to be pressured a lot, so you have to output, but yeah. What's up, Blizz Ballfart? Long time no chat, mate. Real developer for Blizzard there. Yeah. But you notice that, like, when I didn't get focused, I really hurt people. Like, really, even with how bad my mechanics are. And, like, that's what makes Baptiste amazing, right? He's not the best at survivability, but if you can keep yourself alive or you have somebody else being focused, like, you could put out a lot of hurt. Chat, do you guys want to do TimtheTatman? Let's do a poll here. What?
We just watched the most recent with the beginning of the Elton Ring.
Oh, really?
Who's that? That's me.
Yeah. Or Escort guide. I'll let the poll go live right now. How can you aim with hair in your eyes? Immense talent. The poll is live. You guys can vote. Tim is back in Overwatch, apparently. Apparently. Hadi, thank you for the raid! We're Bing Shilling. Hadi. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we should do some, yeah. We should do some live coaching, I say. Some coaching of TimtheTatman or to go over an Escort guy. What do you guys reckon? Poll's live if you guys want to vote. We still got 30 more seconds. You too, man. Or you too, I say. Hope you had a good stream, rather. Let's go TimtheTatman coaching. Oh, you guys here first. We got to vote Tim. Okay, so I made a tweet about it this morning, trying to get some ideas of what we should coach. And some people were saying that we should look at Tim's DPS. What do you guys reckon? He's playing, I think, everything right now. I think he was in gold.
More even after.
I mean, this is kind of more of a highlight reel. His support was really rough. All right, so Tim works. Let's skip through his VODs. Let's see if we can find something succulent. You get what I'm saying? I'll let you guys choose. So let's do the most recent broadcast and let's skim through here. Yeah, Blizz Walfart is Aaron Keller. Yep, it's his gamer tag. What do you guys think here? Let's skim through here. So we've got. Man, he's just yapping for like an hour straight. He's got some Genji, 2 games of Genji, 3 games of Genji, 4 games of Genji, 5 games of Genji. He's playing quick play now. Wait, was he always playing quick play or was he just warming up or? I can't quite tell. Yeah, he's warming up with Genji and quick play, it looks like. And then he plays. Does he play ranked? No, yeah, he does. He queues up the ranked. Yeah, so it looks like he goes into ranked. So let's do some ranked here. He goes Soldier, Ash. These are ranked games. That might be interesting. Cassidy. Maybe we could do Tim's hit scan. He needs like 2 hours of warm up every time. So we could look at his hit scan. Yeah, it looks like a lot of hit scan stuff. Chat kept telling him to play Bastion. I mean, yeah. What do you guys reckon? What if we were to look at some hit scan here? What map do you guys reckon? So gold hit scan here. We got Soldier, Ash, even a little bit of Widow. It looks like briefly. What do you guys reckon? Cassidy? You want to look at Junkertown? What do we get in Junkertown? We get, looks like some Ash. Very brief Widow game. Ash. And he loses. What do you guys reckon? Should we coach Tim's Ash? Let's see what else we got here. We got a little Ash, a little Cassidy. You got, all right, let's do the Ash. So if you guys don't know, Tim has been around for 8 years. He's been around since Overwatch 1. I don't think Overwatch was like his first big game. I highly doubt that was the case. But it was definitely the game where I and a lot of other people got to know him. And he played like a lot of different stuff. He used to play with other streamers. I think he was primarily a tank player back in the day. And he's been apparently Bing chilling around at the moment. So we're going to take a look here and see what we can learn from Himothy's Ash here, which is going to be high gold, low plat on Junkertown. Oh, the heroes could be good for abilities? Yeah, it could be. Let's change your title here. Coaching TimtheTatman. And get our headline cooking here. Coaching Tim. Is he here for the session? No. Shut up, Sonyu. All right, so what we're looking for with Ash. We are looking for a different skin. We are looking for medium to longer range sightlines, depending on what kind of DPS he's playing versus a Widowmaker means he's going to play more medium range, avoiding her super poke sightlines. And if we're playing Reaper, Genji, Tracer, or whatever, going to maintain a little bit more distance. It's going to depend on what he plays. Matt, thank you for the gifted sub. I really hate that was why, but I know you. We would love to see Dynamites on Squishies to win duels. We'd love to see Bobs on off angles. We'd love to see some nice mechanics, some nice crosshair placement, and some nice off angles, right? Some splits to split up the enemy team's attention, looking for angles to surprise people, and yada, 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 yada. I'm going to have a quick mouthful of potato. Thank you very much. Okay, after that intro, let's take like 3 minutes, bro. I got to eat. We'll do some Q&A while I'm eating. Yeah. How's the potato prepared? Peeled, and I think this might have been pressure cookered. And then they just drop some butter in there with some pepper and salt. It's really good. How are you, by the way? Yeah, it's really good. No, I don't think so, Grandma. I think the aim assist stuff makes it too messy. Eating it raw? No. But butter. But butter. Need some nutmeg? That's actually a good idea, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was a whopping 120 when I was at this height. I played a lot of sports. I could have been even skinnier. But I played a lot of sports and, you know, did push-ups and stuff, so I probably had a couple extra pounds of muscle. But the bulking up process was just essentially lifting weights and eating good food. For me, my biggest shortcoming was a lack of protein. So, you know, getting good protein sources, like good, healthy protein shakes, not just the crap that you buy at like Walmart or whatever, but, and then eating around 400, 500 more calories a day was and just over time, really. Do I lift, Spilo? I do. Been lifting for, how long have I been lifting for? 14 years? 14 years. 14 years. Yeah?
Your sister wants to give an account of your accolades for you.
You want to give a count of my accolades? No, come on over. Come on over. Give an account of my accolades. Come on. Your outfit's cute.
No.
Come on, sissy.
No.
Yo, PK, Aubrey's not refusing to come over to give an account of my accolades. I do all the things in the tank top. Well, mostly the tank top is just because it's kind of hot here. Not right particularly now, which is why I'm wearing a sleeve shirt, but, you know, it's like, we don't want to turn on the air, so it'll be like 78 or whatever, which is kind of warm for me anyway, so. Yeah, I do have a rad ho gem. No hat for her. I don't think she cares.
I took the hat.
Yeah, Pepper has the hat anyway. Okay. Timmy time. Timmy. Now keep in mind here, obviously, like, Tim is a streamer first, professional player second. So we're going to be coaching it as if he was super intentional about improving his play. It's not like the most intense thing in the history of the universe. So we'll you know, we're going to critique his stuff, but
We got comms in this bitch?
Jay, thank you for saying.
So let's give it to them.
here we go.
Wait. Is this the fucking Torb?
Not hated by Overwatch Team CZ? Yeah.
Yeah, let's see it then.
All right,
No,
Mr.
wait,
Ash.
you're carrying me out
What's
of
your
cold,
angle,
bro,
buddy?
this Piece of shit.
I got you.
Wouldn't have minded this. So this is going to be great because this is going to be where men become boys. Or, sorry, the other way around. Because you are playing versus a Widowmaker as an Ash. You have to play an angle that has distance on, like, let's say the tank line, but doesn't peak. Shut up. That doesn't peak the Widowmaker at range because the Widow's going to ruin your life. Like, you can't contest a Widowmaker in any range that's longer than like 30 meters, right? You can contest a Widowmaker, but just not in this range. So where should our guy rotate?
It's a good start.
Where should he rotate, right? This is too much time chasing Mr. Sombra here. You got to figure this out. I'm wondering if we could rotate right side and coast early on with our tank. Find an angle here. I'm wondering maybe even on the high ground to our right here. Maybe you could hunt a little for Sombra, I guess, in the meantime. But see, right here, he should be dead. We got to be thinking, number one, what angle makes sense versus the enemy comp? And that's something that takes a lot of experience, so it's something that Tim is going to be struggling with. Raw aim is not going to help you as much in this matchup. Oh my gosh, this Widow is...
You were only one game away from plat 5.
Good management. This is good management of range. You guys see this? So we hide from the Widow, but we keep our distance on Sombra and Lucio, so it pops off. Beautiful.
Good shot.
Even this is okay, right? Good dynamite. Excellent job. That's okay. That's a little bit unfortunate, but it's worth the trade. And also, if we'd been a little bit more aware, we would have known that Widow was here. And this, see, this is a range that we could take the duel at.
This, like, TikTok has ruined Lucio. Like, truly.
This guy is way too Overwatch 1 pilled. What else are you supposed to do as Lucio and Junkertown, man? What else are you supposed to do? You gotta read it. He's that Lucio set up the Widow kill right there. Now, what do you guys think of this positioning here? So, we don't quite know where Widow is. We do know where Sombra is. And we do see some Widow shots from here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? We've got a bit of an angle. We've got some pressure from here. We've got some pressure from here. We know Widow can't peek us right now. So, I think it's okay for right now, right? Like, it's okay. We've got some distance on our threats. You know, we're playing our range, but we're not peeking the Widow, crucially. So this should be okay. But yeah, we do have to be careful about huge dynamite. Wow. But now we expect the Widow to drop. So where the friction, where should Timothy rotate here? Where should Big Boy Tim rotate? Where should AKA the Tatman rotate? What do you guys think? Where can we maintain distance from this Ramatra, but not peek the Widowmaker? What do you guys got? And then do so as convenient as possible. You could rotate right side. Yeah, you could rotate right side, and where all this like clutter here creates it to where the Widow can't see us. But I got something even, I mean, just walk and drop, man. Pop it, you know what I'm saying? Drop it, put on your parachute, and take your angle and shoot the tank from here. Yes, there is a Sombra potentially around, but you can't avoid her entirely regardless, and you could take your angle here without peeking the Widowmaker and just pop off. That's it. That's it. Right here's where Tim decides to rotate. But you see that now his position is cover from Widow, but he can't see the ram. Play the angle. Play the angle. Shoot the ram. Shoot the bot. You see now the Widow, he's giving the Widow the capability to control all the sight lines instead of taking an angle where the Widow cannot see him. You see it? You see it? Now he has to peek the Widow. And the Widow just happens to miss shots. Holy frick, dude! Do not do this! Ah! Terrifying. You see this? Do you see what we've done? We increased our risk for no reward. Tim, wake up. Lock in, Tim. Tim! 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 And so it's a problem. Now, this is a good initial spot here until the Widow grapples here, because the Widow can't see us. This is good. Now we should probably rotate back. Woo! Okay, and honestly, play the same spot. Play the same spot. Look at what we can see from right here. You got a little distance on the ram, a little distance on the Lucio. Widow can't peek us. We can rotate back left, which is a nice short sight line. We can maybe sneak up on that Widow, you know? Let's see what we do. It's a fine dynamite. Would have preferred to save it for a squishy if we can, but now, you see, now we're doing what we're doing a levitating. We're levitating. We're floating in the open without really committing to a position or committing to an angle. And then the angle that we do choose is, again, an angle that will be controlled by Widowmaker. You see this? Because the Widow's on our left. We can contest that. That's a range that we can contest Widow. This is a mess. Jeff is a mess. You see it?
Nice.
You don't contest Widow, she ruins your day.
Lucio's inside.
He'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Actual God heals.
Nice.
Actual God heals, bro.
Easiest way to carry in gold and plat is just to play counters.
Widow's by himself.
Shut up! Dude. Anybody that uses text-to-speech to give game advice, except for Braxbro in my chat, obviously, is an absolute Neanderthal.
They play Bastion with no dive and a Junker Queen and Hanzo or Ashe become really strong.
Dude, can you imagine playing Bastion into a Widowmaker comp like this on Junkertown? Are you joking?
Can't be for real. Right? Lucio's trolling.
He ain't trolling, buddy. Look at the attention that he's getting. Look at how much chaos he's creating. Okay, this is good. No, go back. You had a perfect sight line to avoid that Widowmaker. Subway Kiwi. Shut up! Okay, you know what? You're getting timed out, buddy. You're getting timed out. Just because you give him money does not give you absolute. does not absolve you from the consequences of your actions.
Backing up.
Take the top here. Take the top. Look at the angle that you got here. Be able to dynamite these guys here. They can't touch you. You could poke here. The Widow can't see you. Hold the angle. Because when you're here, you're opening yourself up to Widow and also putting yourself directly in front of the Ramatra shield. You see, this is exactly why angles matter. Because you prevent tanks, DPS, supports from only focusing on one lane. You open up lanes. The challenge is what lane is safe for you. And right now, with the status of where the Widow is and the infocytes and the cover that we have on the left side, the left just makes the most sense. Shut up, Mr. Tog. Bertog. What is your name? What is your name? See, this is messy. This is messy. Nice dynamite.
Frog, baby.
Tim is he's so done with this, man. Did I try out Deadlock? Yes, I did. I might be one of the greatest Deadlock players currently active.
Way to drop to bronze is just to counterpick.
I almost timed you out, but I read your message. Okay, thank you, Surly.
Bueno, bueno.
My trigger finger. A little far. Good. Use the bob in the back line. Use it. Use it. Press Baberto up the stairs. Drop him like a rock. Skabaloosh.
Okay.
Do it.
It's okay. Oh, there we go.
Because remember, everybody's already on this section worried about threats coming in from this way. Throwing an additional threat is essentially like a nerd not getting a date and deciding that he needs to read another book to get a date. It's probably not the reason why. Love you. It's probably not the problem, mate. You probably need to diversify your portfolio, pops, okay? So take the angle that you have, drop a bob behind so the enemy team has nowhere to hide. They get shot in the cheeks by a robot butler, or they get shot in the cheeks by a bot. No, that's that's a joke. Get it, guys? It's a bot.
Was the ram off?
And you see, like, during this rotation, we've also opened ourselves up to Ram, to Widow, and so on.
Mercy, Widow, top right.
Dictator stream, yes. Always. You see what happens? You see what happens here? This is the perfect encapsulation of everything wrong with this position, where you die to both the Ram and the Widow. Right? Ask if anyone else thinks about Spilo being pregnant. Yeah, that's exactly. If I don't laugh, do I get timed out? Yes. Yeah, what happened to his Bob? Did his Bob go off the map? No, I think it just died. Or did he get hacked?
Mercy, Widow, top right.
This guy, the Bob just expired, Chief. That's all right.
Ulted himself and stayed alive, by the way. A nice shot.
Nice.
I'm literally touching. Not.
Ah! Life choices were made.
What has he done to all?
Okay, this guy is inting now. He's going in by himself.
Who's that Lucio on TikTok?
Stop peeking the Widow here. Okay, so with the information that we have now, all you big brain wizards in chat, with your robes tucked under your loins, with the information that we have Widowmaker here, where the frick do we rotate here? Where's the angle that we can play at a more comfortable range versus this Widow? No, Matt. No. You could peek the Widow if you were like here. I think if you could maybe like rotate and crouch and do some fancy stuff here. You could also rotate here. Yeah. At least, like, if you're gonna peek the Widow, do so in an angle at a range that makes more sense with your character. Ah! Why? Okay, good. Never mind. I know exactly why. Okay. Little guy. Don't do this, please. Don't do this, please. You don't have the advantage at this range. You don't have the advantage at this range. You don't have the advantage at this range. Okay, never mind. We're the greatest. Good dynamite. Don't drop in the Kitsune Rush. Let your team use the Kitsune Rush, and you take out the trash because the entire enemy team is going to be freaking out about the Kitsune Rush. Did I miss the Tim coaching? Are you joking? Are you joking? I can't tell if I'm being punked in the year of our Lord 2024. I'm being punked. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Tim. He's not listening to me. I'm very clearly giving him advice. Stop peeking the Widow at this range. Instead, find a rotation elsewhere. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it! This could be your ass gameplay. Okay, Matt.
This Widow is so ass. Like, high-key so ass. Like, if he's not getting pocketed, he's so free.
More like that Widow is me, man. Has like legit that's the most Spylo thing ever. Get like a 3K immediately on the opener, just toggle, and then for the rest of the game, get like one headshot. Ah!
Lucio dead.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm literally reporting.
Good ult.
Top right. Now this angle makes sense. There's a Widow on the field. We can sneak up. We have our coach.
saving
We have our Bob.
I'm saving OT.
Unlucky. Chad, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know, chat. He doesn't know. Did you guys see that? Did you guys hear that? This is a good angle, but there's a Widow right next to us, and I don't think he knows. Ah! The Bob was okay. But the Bob gets EMP'd. Frick. Wait, no, the Bob doesn't get EMP'd. She missed the EMP in the Bob.
Good hold, good hold. Oh my god.
Unreal. So, we want to see more angles, shockingly, but more angles that are attentive to the enemy team's position and find the best solution with what's available. I think when we're getting bullied out, we kind of just give up and stand behind our tank and then die anyway. And then crucially, I want Bob in a flank. And stop contesting Widow and long sidelines. Yeah. I came to support me from YouTube. Thank you so much, Zeus. I accept cash, credit, debit, mortgage, house, cars, children, will, stuff like that.
Ram dead, almost.
No, not dead, no.
Right here.
Children, yes.
No fucking way.
This loose is a waste of time, guys.
Come on, Timmy.
Come on, Timmy. If anyone ever called me Timmy, I think I'd break a wall. I think I would just snap.
Damn.
I mean, I think the angle is fine. He just is peeking it by himself, so then like everyone's just like vomiting crap here instead of like fighting his team because his team isn't there. I think the angle is okay. I think the Widow Hero is also pretty good as well. This is an old man that played long ago. Yes.
We got Sombra up top on base.
Even older than me, I think. Marginally. Good. Careful the Widow. Careful the Widow. Where can we go to where either we can avoid the Widow sightlines or we can contest the Widow at a range that's more appropriate for the character that we're playing? That was a lot of words. What do you think? What are we reviewing? We're reviewing TimtheTatman. Want to make a video about it? Not planning on it. I don't have any unique takes on Deadlock, so I will shut my yapper. Yeah, I think up. Yeah, no, just peek it here. You can peek the Widow. This is pretty close. Even with Pocket here, you can kind of mess her up. You can peek the tank from here. Yeah. Get smoky with it. See, like, this is still pretty spooky, but this is like, I'm like legitimately like 50% more likely to win this one because it's actually so much harder for the Widow to hit this shot, and it's easier for us to hit our shot here too. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about the nickname Cobb? I've already been Cobb. I used to coach an Indian family and martial arts, mixed martial arts, and their girl was like super scared of me because she was like 3 or 4 when she first started. And I eventually won her over, but the family was like super strict and like forced her to go to class even when she was scared, and she ended up doing really well, and she was great. And she did it till she was like 12, right? But they called me Mr. Cobb. They called me Mr. Cobb. So I don't know if it was like a misunderstanding of my name or maybe they got, but I was fine with it. I was Mr. Cobb, man. So okay, you probably don't need to chase the Sombra here, but this is fine. You have your dynamite, so she's right now. Ah! Get her! Get her! Get it! Get it! Get the rat! Get the rat! Ah! Okay.
How did that Somber not die?
Did I ever get called Jakey Poo? Yeah, Pepper calls me Jakey Poo sometimes. You're too close to the ram, too close to the ram. So the angle choice here is too close to stay this long because you're closer to the ram. You probably should have just gone back into the high ground and tried again. I have an appointment on October. I look forward to it. Me too, Zeus. Me too. It's a great question. When you walk into melee range of a big robot with large punches, you are very difficult to keep alive, especially when you don't disengage.
Dude, their tank just walked by my tank and just fucked me.
I mean, Malga doesn't have hook, Chief. Like, he can't stop the ram from walking. He can do a lot of damage to the ram, and he did, but not fast enough. Watch. Watch. So Malga is on the ram, forcing shield.
How did that Somber not die?
He's popping the steel. He's doing a lot of damage on that ram. Look, he even chases it. You see that? The ram's 1 HP. And the ram might even die for that? Nope, not quite, because we die too fast. You know?
Happening.
Classic.
What is happening?
Bro, this isn't Giga Tank. Ash, at no point in Overwatch 1 would that ever be appropriate. You're playing Ash! Nice shots.
I'm losing in this rank. There's no fucking way.
Oh no, that's a classic. Okay, chat. There is no more hard stuck person. This is something that I've realized the last few weeks. There's nothing more hard stuck than somebody that used to be good at the game. Because they have this like level of expectation and they just like start to trash. Now I think Tim is like mostly like streaming and being silly and stuff like that, you know. He's being silly, you know, but I will say. Not even ego, it's like expectations for yourself, so I guess it's ego. It's not even like man, ego is such a vague term, you get what I'm saying? He's about to lock in, chat. Why is he locking in here?
There we go, there we go.
But they had a huge advantage.
I'm literally not. I'm not gonna stay.
Samba right here.
Halo fucking hell that is cold. I'm not.
No, it's not a fragile ego. This is mostly stream content. You guys gotta lock in. You guys have seen me play. You guys have seen me play. My God. The worst crime that Tim has made is this Ash skin, which I think is so unbelievably mid. Don't peek this Widow here. So where can Timothy play where he can angle on point without getting rushed down by Ram or not getting poked out by Widow? What do you guys think? I do have the most fragile ego. Go left or top right. You got it. So we can either play the stairs here in LOS and shoot point, or we can rotate. You guys can't see the, I guess you can. Or rotate all the way around left and just shoot on point. You got it. You got it. You got it. Bad take. No, the Ash Mythic is even worse, I will say. See, you sit on point, you pay the consequences. You know, this is what happens. They just throw everything near, and you're just a consequence. If they EMP'd or whatever you over there, at least it would be just you. Here, this is like.
What did I do to their tank? Like, what did I ask?
He doesn't know, chat. Like, when you play on point, the tank is gonna focus you first because you have 250 health versus how much health does Malka have? Like 650, right? Shocking, really. The only reason he's even surviving this long is because he's a streamer. So everyone's like, we've got to pocket the streamer and focus the streamer.
Fucking shots him.
This is better. If you're going to contest a Widow, this is the range to do it, right?
He's dead. No pocket, he's fucking dead.
Because you're down 2, buddy.
Actual dead, like GG all over. Hot.
We got this.
Let's get to the new building. Thank you, Stefano. Stefano always phrases his feedback in the most insane, unhinged way ever, but it's like in the most pleasantly unhinged. Let's go to the new building. It sounds like the 35-year-old dad that's gonna like invite you over for like a coleslaw. They're gonna have like a coleslaw bar, and they're just gonna invite you over, and he like works as like a businessman, and he comes home and they watch like the most generic sitcoms ever, and he definitely says frick, you know. That's Stefano. He's like the most generic, nice white guy with his coaching. It's really funny. I'm not 35. Shut up. It's good. Nice. That's definitely what I was going for. Man, you nail it. Don't peek this Widow here. Maybe rotate left, find it a different, more surprising, or where at least you're a little closer, or keep hammering on the right. Like, I think it's a little tricky here because they've actually kind of done a good job contesting here, contesting here, contesting here, but you can problem solve it. I'm 38 with two kids. Sorry, Panda. Get fricked, buddy. Reasonable Bob. It's okay to use Bob to get out of the choke. It really is. Nice dynamite, dude. Oh, good. You have your CDs. You played it well. Great, Bob.
Good ult. I got Mercy on me. Dead.
He's so locked in. You see this?
On my point.
It's good. It was a good play. Did Tim request coaching? Yes. He personally messaged me. He said, Spilo, I will buy you a car if you coach me. And I said, sure, man.
Nice.
So I said, sure. Comes at you fast. A little far for a Widow duel, but I don't hate it. It's reasonable. It was reasonable. It's a 50-50 duel, I think, at that range. Maybe 55-45 in the Widow's favor, but yeah. Sell out, yeah.
Down here, salt is a way of life. Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling is salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you constantly taste the salt.
That was pretty funny. That was funny.
We can melt them. Nice.
Sure. Risky, but sure. A little close for the Tracer. Probably would have been better to play underneath, but you know what? At least it was a flank. You see, this is the thing: is there is no good position for your range to solve the Sudoku, find the angle where I can avoid the Widow. But it's like, just play an angle. Just play it. It could be the wrong angle, it could be too far, it could be too close. Just play an angle. Do you notice that this here created an opportunity, Zeus, thank you for the subscription, for us to make a play? This didn't work, but it did because we caught him off guard. And that alone, the psychological value of forcing a split, and even this Tracer response creates an opportunity for my team. So Tim's gonna freak here, but this is a good play. This is a great play. This is a fight-winning play right here.
Nice. Lucio here. Hop on point, boys.
And there you go.
Nice. Recall.
Dead.
He's not playing the mega. Oh my god, this guy's more fucking annoying than herpes. Holy shit.
Tim, come on, we need you.
There's a fucking Tracer!
Walk away! I can yell too! You got a coach gun! She's sucking the floor! Move up! Move up! Useless sack of garbage! Get off the floor! Stop wasting your life! You're not that guy, pal! Find the position, find the angle, and shoot the Tracer at your convenience! You moron! Why are you here? Move! You're standing in front of a Ramatra! This guy eats you for lunch! Move! Get up here! You got a sniper rifle! You're built like a toothpick on a diet! Move! Stop! Stop! Why are you here?
They use 2 ult.
You're demanding more care than a paraplegic cancer patient! Get off the court! And he sits there like he's surprised.
Jay, you ready for the largest bob you've ever fucking seen? I'm about to have bob. We can do this.
I'm gonna get their squishies.
He's gonna win it now, I believe. Sure. Rotate top, rotate top. See, here's the thing. They're on Genji Soldier now, so we could be a lot less hesitant to take longer sight lines. Right? Because there's no Widow. So as our team walks forward, let's see where we rotate.
He's got a touch.
Okay. We had the opportunity to take top left with Coach Gun. Maybe even Bob there. We could have taken top right once our team had rotated out of the choke, and you sat there.
Come
Good. No way. No way. That Bob was good. Bob is such a good ultimate, and especially in lower ranks. Honestly, Bob is a good ultimate in all ranks.
Taking him out, baby.
Is my other DPS
I need help.
Come on.
So they basically forced every single cooldown in the game. They're all one, and then Malga and Bob clean it up.
Legitimately has to be fucking trolling.
This guy's... No! No! This guy is so excited. This guy is so excited.
It's not good. I think that ult sucks.
No! No, dude. Ah! Is this why you guys picked this one? Did you guys know? Oh my gosh, that's crippling. Ah! Frick, dude. Ah! All that, dude. All that. Agony, no. Ah, shoot. No. Oh, well, good game. Now he remembered a lot of the abilities and kind of what they did, which was good. You know, the Bobs, at least he was using the Bob, if not always placing it well. But yeah, I think key thing for Tim is going to be about finding those angles, you know, find those angles. Obviously, Widows and Sombras and stuff complicate things, but get off of the tank's face, man. Get off of him. And find the angle with you, find the angle with your Bob. You know, if you're going to get heel pocketed, make it count. Kitty Cannon, thank you for the sub. All right. Yikes, that was painful, dude. Painful. Yeah, spread out, use your range, take duels that are favorable for you. Not just the heroes, but how, you know, you could take a duel versus anything as an Ashe. As long as it's the right range. Now, let's see, your Ashe? No, no way. Nah, dude. Alright, you want to see it? Alright, fine. I'll talk the talk, and I'll walk the walk. I'll walk the talk, I'll talk the walk. You get what I'm saying? Uh-huh. Go ahead, talk all the trash. I'm fine. I'm locked in. Do I look locked in? Yeah, so I'm gonna lock in. Take a duel versus a train. We'll just do a quick play game because queue times. Yeah. All right, let's go, buddy. What do you guys got? Thank you, Stefano. Yes. Remember, Stefano says. Stefano always makes these fun little mnemonics to help me to remember how to play the game the wrong way. Oh no.
Hello there.
I hate these lobbies so much. I just want to shoot somebody, dude. I just want to shoot somebody in the freaking head. No, somebody here, frick.
Arriving at Chateau Guerre.
Alright. Okay, frick, man. Zero warm-up. I don't need it. Oh, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Ah! Yep. How's the game on you for you guys?
I'm the last one you'll ever cross.
I heard Talon failed another mission. Going soft.
Do not speak to me unless you wish to lose your other eye.
I'd still be the better shot.
You were truly fearsome in your prime.
I wanted respect, not fear.
Je sens que je vais bien
All right.
m'amuser.
Ah! Let's go. Lifeweaver. I'm gonna assume they're on Widow. There's Hanzo, so I have to play longer angles or shorter angles versus him.
Show them.
Ooh. I hate freaking Hanzo, dude.
Spotted a turret.
Frick! Need to get out. So Sigma's gonna mark me there, so I'm gonna rotate away. I don't know where Hanzo is. B.
Just point me in the right direction.
Hide from Hanzo.
She's gonna blow. I needed that.
Frick, too close.
Behind you.
Sigma present. Payload in motion.
No! No! I don't want it! No!
Understood.
Hanzo's back.
I get the idea.
I need my tank to take some space here, buddy.
Enemy turret ahead. Just what I need.
Ah! Okay, it's okay. We held the angle. We held the angle. I probably should have saved Dynamite for the Hanzo. Ah! Come on, Mercy! No! Why did my Mercy leave me? Okay, we're gonna win this, guys. See, we've already got Bob. We're popping off.
No one can hide from the ride into the sunset.
So we'll set up the angle with our Bob. We'll play here for a second.
I see an enemy.
Oh, frick, what's Malina doing? She's cooking.
Do something.
Heroes never die.
Let me.
What? Well, that was the greatest Bob of all time.
Payload in motion stays in motion.
Hey, where did he go? Oh, he's dead. Frick. Ah, I shouldn't have double peeked that. Frick!
The barriers.
Do we have res?
Get them off me.
Yes. Thank you.
I owe you.
See, I could just shoot this Sigma here.
Just point me in the right direction.
I'm not gonna dynamite this. We missed the flux. I'm not gonna sit there and poke that. It's a gamble.
Enemy seen. She's gonna blow. Stream connected.
Dude, what is my...
Turret's down.
Oi! Oh, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, fall.
My duty is being done. Feel stronger.
Let me.
Payload must follow its course. Put it into motion. Heading you out.
No one can hide from the
Ah, come on! It was worth it. I thought I strafed. I didn't strafe enough. Okay, we have Bob now.
never die.
Smoke him out of there.
Bob. Ah! Ah!
Riding ahead of the herd.
Oh, we missed it. Bro, am I gonna have to bob this? I'm gonna have to bob this.
Do something.
I'm gonna have to bob this. No, no, we went too far. Ah! No, dude, I'm trolling. I'm trolling. Okay, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. I'm gonna lock in. Here's the lock. Here's the lock. Lock it. Lock it.
We need to take out that turret.
I was like, no way.
Enemy turret theory is proven.
10 seconds remaining.
What is that melody?
I get the idea. The fuse is lit.
Bro, this...
Overtime. The payload has reached.
Okay. We're locked. A little close here.
I need that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're locked in. I don't want to peek this until I know where Hanzo is. I feel like he's going to peek top left. No, he's on main. No, we can take top left, but I feel like with where card is, it's too soon. There it is. Ah, dude! Every time! Like the pixel! Dude! The pixel! I know it's there! Ah! Alright, we have sights now, so I'm gonna take the rotation to top left. He's gonna grab Mega. Rotate away. Frick! My bad. I needed to stay locked in on the angle there. I probably could have kept playing the angle with Dynamite. Dude, Hanzo is so annoying. There's no range that you can play Hanzo. I think that's why he's super annoying as an Ashe. Alright, so let's start bottom right and play a little bit more flanky, because there's really nowhere that the Hanzo can't shut me down, so at least roll the dice a little bit. Oh, fat Dynamite. Oh, frick.
What is that melody?
I think we missed Flux again. Maybe we didn't. Wait, what?
Enemy turret here. Targeting hostile.
Incredible.
Barrier is nearly spent. Barrier has been overwhelmed.
I didn't do any damage. I need to get off the floor here.
30 seconds remaining.
Clock's ticking. Get the lead out. Let me handle it. Over here.
Hanzo's gonna peek me. There's Storm. You want it? You want it? You want it, buddy? I don't give a rip. What do you do about that?
Step it up.
Nano boost administered.
Locked and loaded.
Thank you.
Wait, where is this guy? Where is this guy? Where is he? Oh, he's here.
She's gonna blow. I get the idea. Enemy over here. Double calls are red.
Okay, we're controlling. What is going on? I don't know what's happening.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I don't think Hanzo's here yet.
Enemy turret up ahead. I'm on fire. Enemy turret's down. Feel stronger? Hey, catch!
We're a little far forward of my team, and I really gotta be careful of Hanzo here. So if Hanzo comes,
I'm under attack.
I got the payload. Let's roll.
I'll make sure that doesn't.
all right, Sigma, shut him down.
Whew. That's what I need. Dynamite out.
Barrier is nearly spent. What is that melody?
Okay, so we got Lamp and Grip out. Frick! No!
Enemy turret ahead. My fuse is lit. Enemy turret's down.
60 seconds remaining.
I was too early. I didn't even hear him.
I get the idea.
No.
On my way.
We have Coach Gun here, or we have Dynamite, so I think I can eco this. We can snowball this. That's a good Bob. Oh, what? Oh. No! Those dynamites have been so bad.
Enemy turrets down. Overtime. Brought a knife to a gunfight.
Nice.
The barrier appears.
Please hit a shot. I'm gonna angle this up, I think. Go. No, no. Ah, you hindered me! You can't. I should have taken top left. I should roll top left. So mechanics aside, this might be Bob play of the game. Might be. Okay. Look. Dude, he headshot and hindered me. Anyway. Yeah. I should have remained right side instead of walking them. Yeah. I think I should have taken top instead of rotating in the small room there. I think that was the play. That was the wrong angle. Okay. The positioning was not impeccable, but it was tolerable. It was tolerable. Okay, so this is the question. Escort guide, yeah? That plays why they call him the Silent Sword. Wait, who was that his name? Wait. Oh yeah, true. He that is a very Silent Sword play here. Man, he hits. Frick it. I'm gonna have a little bit of beef and then we're gonna move on. Oh. Mm-hmm. You betcha. The Silent Hoovers, my new Winston like that, yeah. When is the lowest win percentage here? None of these really count because I didn't put really any hours into them. Brig is pretty bad though. I was on Masters like 2 or 3 with Brig. This is also pretty bad. Yeah, this is from before Rolak. This is like the only account I've ever had. Really. Okay, let's do some Escort juice. Let's do some Escort juice. Shoot, I had notes on this. Let me try and remember really fast. 1-4 rule. 1-4 rule. Who pushes cart? How many fights versus quality versus quantity? 1-4 rule. Who pushes cart? Yo, Dean Dong. Thank you for the bit. When you went to all competitive seasons, the individual roll times and add up to your old comp, that's weird. Okay. Let's talk about Escort really fast. Because I've had a lot of people asking me for an Escort guide, like 4 or 5 in like the last 2 or 3 weeks, which is a lot. Okay. Okay, that's kind of a lot, you know, if you think about it. It's not as many as you might think, but that's still a lot. So basically, the question with Escort is, what are like the general principles for Escort that you should be aware of? And then what are the stuff that's specific to each map? Now, if you guys have seen some of my other map guides, I liked to go in detail about each map, but that's not what we're going to be doing today. Not just because I don't really have the time anymore, but also because I actually don't think it's all that useful to know every single nook and cranny. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the basic advice for attackers, basic advice for defenders, basic things that both the attack and the defense needs to know, and then we'll give 1 tip, maybe 2 tips for each point on each map. So we're gonna kind of accelerate this process, because the reality of the situation is the whole purpose of a map guide is to give you guys a couple of things to chew on to execute in your own games. It's not gonna rethink how you think about Escort. It's not gonna completely revolutionize your understanding of a map. There's too many things there. If you walk away from a map guide and you only have 1 or 2 things to work on, that's totally fine. Just a couple of small adjustments. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to give you some of those small adjustments as a whole, and then some of those small adjustments for each individual map. So to start things off, I want to talk about something that both defenders and attackers have to really worry about, which is who should contest the cart. So the payload moves at a consistent fixed rate with 1 person on the payload. This then is accelerated to 2, and then is accelerated even more with 3 people on the cart by marginal amounts. Generally, when there's any sort of positionings to take on the map, really only 1 person should hold cart. The question is, who should push the cart? What is the rule? Is it the support? Is it the tank? Is it the DPS? Is it the mobile people? Is it the immobile people? And the answer is really, really simple. Whether you're contesting cart or whether you're pushing cart, by contesting I mean defending and holding the cart, it really depends on who needs to reposition more than anybody else. I'm going to pull up a replay code from one of my sessions before, and we'll take a look at this. So the question here is for the attackers right now, Team Red. Who should be pushing cart right now? Who should be pushing cart right now? Who needs to be taking space, taking angles, and taking positions right now? The answer is, well, probably the DPS, maybe my Kiriko, but my Ram, who just kind of fights on main anyway, might as well be on cart. So there's no reason for my Ram not to be on cart. And actually, when it comes to who should be holding cart, it's the same exact question. Does the enemy Ram want to be anywhere else? Does my Ram want to be in high ground punching the air? No, right? That's safe for me when my stream is over. But no, you just sit on the cart and contest the cart because that's might as well. It's just a short silence, so you might as well be here, okay? So pretty simple. But if we accelerate this and go later into this VOD, right? So we end up going, I think we get full held here. Yeah, so here's a question. Who should be contesting cart now? If my Ram wants to be holding this angle here and holding this choke, who should be contesting cart right now? Should it be my Ram? Who should it be? Really, the reality is who can sit on cart and still provide value? Torb, I guess. It actually should be Mercy, because Mercy can actually reach the Torb or the Hanzo with her beam while still being on cart. It should be Mercy. Exactly. So you really can't paint with a broad brush here. The question just needs to be who really needs a high ground, or who really needs to set up on the flank, or who really needs to get onto a corner or cover. And the answer is that it really depends in each situation. The reality is, and you guys know how this goes, in ranked, especially in low to mid ranks, pretty much everybody sits on card. Like way too many people sit on card. So for lower ranks, it's not even a question of who should sit on card. It's who's going to actually have the brain or the wherewithal to know to get off of card. This situation here, it should be D.Va, because D.Va's just going to push card and then leave card. But maybe here, maybe as the fight devolves, a character like Mei might want to push card, or Kiriko might want to push card, or maybe if we can get the Ramatra out of here, my Ana can push card because she can still heal and damage while still being on card. But I wouldn't put my Ana on card if she's at a threat of getting run over. So the real applicable answer is you should try to avoid pushing card unless somebody else is, regardless of rank. But if you want the optimal answer, you need to look at the situation and be like, who would really benefit from taking a flank? My Sombra should not be pushing cart right now because she needs to be on a flank, right? My Mei needs to be off of cart because we might need her. Well, my Mei might want to be on cart because she might want to wall the ramp, and she could do so from here. Maybe my D.Va needs to be off of cart because we need her to dive and pressure the backline. Maybe my Kiriko needs to not be on cart because she needs to be assisting the angle here. Now, I will say one exception to this rule, and this is a great map to discuss it, is like, let's say we win this fight. I think we actually win this fight in a bit here. Let me skip forward just a little bit. So red does end up winning one of these fights eventually. Okay, so here's a question. As we push these staggers here, does my Rhine benefit from being up top somewhere crazy like this? Yeah, sure. Does my Ana benefit from being on a high ground? Yep. Moira, not as much. Okay, so she's on Moira now, so maybe not as much. But yeah, let's say that she's still on Ana. Sure. Does my Kiriko? Yep. Does my Widow need to set up? Yeah, absolutely. So then what you actually do is when your entire team, including your tank, benefits significantly from setting up on a high ground, in Escort, it's very common to have a flanker push card. Because one of the nice things about Sombra is you can reposition very quickly. Genji, reposition very quickly. Tracer, reposition very quickly. If you've ever watched professional Overwatch, usually because backlines and tanks are it's so important to rotate to those high grounds, to rotate those powerful positions, you often do have flankers on the cart who then leave the cart once the fight starts to go take an angle and then win the fight and then push the cart again. So really your first priority is to be getting off the cart, taking a high ground, taking an angle, taking a corner, something away from cart if you can, playing your effective range, depends on the character, right? But if you want the optimal answer is it depends. It really, really depends. Now, the key thing is you do need to pay attention to where the cart is to know where you should be setting up. For example, with where the cart is right now, I really don't want my Widowmaker all the way over here, because by the time the fight starts, she will be completely out of position because the fight will be happening here, not happening over here. So my Widowmaker might want to push up to somewhere like this, because that's likely close to where the fight's going to be happening. So you should be setting up off of cart, but still staying with a leash attached to you from cart. Does that kind of make sense? We can look at another code. I'll answer some of y'all's questions in just a second, but like let's look at a Route 66 code really fast to kind of give a good example on that, right? So if we go to, let's say, oh, this is a scrim code, even better, right? So we go to second point here, right? So second point here, let's skip ahead here. Let's see. So you can kind of see here how we have people that are pushed up and taking space. Really important to get my Ana on a high ground. Really important to get my Sojourn off of cart. Really important to get my Juno set up, my Winston set up, right? You can kind of see Team Red is kind of fighting and setting up in this location here. The mistake here is actually the Winston. He sets up and then dives beyond where the cart can help, because Hyperspace and Echo here can't shoot anything. It's not that she can't follow up on the dive, she doesn't have to, but she can't follow up on anything. And this is the mistake that you don't want to make. Don't set up and then leave all your teammates way behind. You need to fight in this general vicinity. Everything on my screen is appropriate, but everything off my screen is inaccessible by whoever's pushing cart right now. So then the Echo has to decide, do I just like let my Winston die? Do I push up? Do I leave cart? Right? It's a disaster, and it almost gets really badly punished. My question is, as a plat support Briggsy, I feel like I should be making a little space, pushing a corner, but no one looks back at cart, so I push back for cart. Yeah, if nobody's on cart, you handle cart. It's totally fine. Totally fine. If nobody handles cart, you can fall back on cart. Totally fine. Totally fine. So let's talk about, we've talked about some generic things for both sides, and that applies to defenders as well. Who should contest cart, right? Who gets the priority here? But there's one very specific defender's strategy, which is really important. And the question is not just who should stop cart, but the question is where should we stop cart? Let's pull up actually the map that we were just in, and let's look at it in a custom game. And you might have seen this before in pro play, maybe you've even seen this in lower rank play, but there's a huge discrepancy of deciding where to hold. Do we hold this corner here? Do we hold the corner here? And if you've ever watched maybe some really low ranked play or some really high ranked play, depending, you might have even seen a spawn hold, right? And the question is why? What is the benefit of the spawn hold? The answer is obvious from an objective standpoint, where you get generally more fights. You take one fight here, you lose it, the cart pushes forward. You can recontest usually somewhere around this corner, especially with wave respawn, you lose it. And then you can recontest one more time before they cap. 3 fights, obviously 3 is more than 2, so it's better. Well, kind of. Because when you hold here, yes, you do have some high grounds, but generally your defender's advantage isn't quite as good. These high grounds over here have a little bit better vision, a little bit more cover. So the question becomes a question of quantity of fights versus quality of fights. So you have to decide as a team, where do we want to hold? Do we want to get more fights to burn more time off the clock? Or do we want to take a fight where, yeah, we give them a little bit of free cart push, but you get more time, a better quality fight, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of your choice, is to choose which one. And the reason why you see a lot of spawn camps in higher ranks is because there will be a brawl comp, Ryan comp, Malga comp, something that doesn't really need the high ground and can just kind of hold a corner and spam the choke there. I think that's all that finds. What did I just hear? I don't know. So you kind of have to decide. I think if you're running more of a poke here comp, hold here. Now, again, I'm going to give you guys the ranked answer here. The ranked answer is just play where your team is set up. Complement. Your tank's holding spawn, hold spawn with them. If your tank's holding the corner, hold the corner with them. That's your choice. That's your choice. But there's almost always this choice multiple times through an escort about what corner do we want to hold, more fights or better fights, and it really depends on the comp that you're playing. And so always complement the team, because the reality of the situation is you're always going to be a minority in terms of deciding the situation. So play to your strengths and follow up off of what your team is doing. So we've talked about something that's important for both teams, which is who should push card. We talked about something that's important for attackers, which is deciding where do we set up? Can I set up? Like, what positions can I take? Generally only one person on cart, right? And then for defenders, it's asking where do we want to take those fights? And these are applicable to all escort maps. So what I would like to do here is I'm going to go through each point on each map, on every single escort point, and we're going to give you a general common error. I kind of want to treat this as more of like not a tip or a trick, but more about addressing common errors that I see a lot of the times from coaching these maps hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times from all ranks, and things that you can apply in your ranked. And crucially, things that you can do by yourself. Not like, oh, you can coordinate with your team to spawn hold. That's just not realistic. But you know what is realistic? And let's start with first point, Route 66. This is not going to be both attack and defense. It might be, but it's going to depend on the situation. The first tip that I have is if you're defending here, you really should never, ever, ever full stack on top. Never. I think the value of having a hit scan, a flanker, a support even on either this boardwalk here or starting here, and rotating back to here cannot be understated. Your sight lines here are too limited. It's too easy to dynamite this, to sojourn ult this, to dive this, to set up a flanker, to sneak around behind. If you split their attention and yet can still see and support each other, it makes it a lot harder to dive, poke, or brawl out this high ground. This high ground's good. People need to be here, but not everybody here. You need to be controlling both sightlines at the same time. It also gives you better vision about who's here, about who's here. It's just good stuff. It's really, really good stuff. I highly, highly recommend when defending this point to split your positioning here. And obviously, like how you hold it will depend. Like if I'm splitting here as a Genji, I'll probably be levitating and floating in this area here. If I'm doing it as a Zen, I might start here to help a little bit, but probably pretty quickly going to rotate back to this long sight line here. So very, very important. I see this all the time, even in higher ranks. People make this mistake. Okay, so the second point here, we're going to actually look at the attack here. So attack was, I see 5-man pushes. I see 5-man pushes here. I see 5-man pushes here, and I see 5-man pushes here. And it just makes it so easy to stuff and spam you out. It's very, 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 very painful. So my biggest suggestion for this one is to attack it from multiple, ready, angles, right? Put your tank on cart, throw your support or a DPS here. Put a little pressure here, or you can rotate 5 to cart, but put a couple, maybe your flanker and a support off this way. Maybe contest the high ground from here, or even wrapping all the way around behind. This is a significantly easier point to attack when you attack it from multiple different directions. And all of these chokes are brutal if you're not utilizing your mobility or your range to find different ways of assaulting it. Yeah, and one more thing as well. Never walk out of this with 5, almost ever, unless you're popping an ultimate immediately, and even then it's inefficient. Always try to send somebody to split here or send somebody to split from here, even just to poke out from this range. This is a meat grinder, and every time I see high and low rank people do this, it makes me weep. Do not recontest from this position with 5 people. It just doesn't work. Okay. Finally, third point, this one is kind of a more of a general principle, but a lot of people really prioritize the right side of this map from both attack and defense. But if you're playing a short-range character, Reaper, Junkrat, Tracer, Genji, and so on, this area is pretty important to contest, and if you're in defenders, it's pretty easy to wrap around and apply pressure from this position. And the same thing goes for the attackers, too. If you're playing a shorter-range character, even like a Cassie, right, there's lots of opportunities to make plays here, whereas this tends to be more Widow, Ashe, Ana, Zenyatta domain. It can feel pretty painful to walk on, so just don't forget that there's a lot of space there, too. Any questions, guys, before we move on? Thank you, Waffle. I'm not answering that question. I'm going to let that be forever a mystery. Do you have a hero tier list? What do you mean hero tier list? Tier list for what? No, I don't do tier lists, meta tier lists. I think they're actively harmful. Play what you want, play what you enjoy. That's the tier list. So, any other questions before we move on for Circuit? Because this one's going to be a doozy. OTPs are the cure to counterwatch. Okay. This one's going to be more for defenders here. Attackers, you're just going to have to slam your head into the wall. I will say one little point for defenders. I think this high ground can be a bit overrated because it's pretty easy to poke you out. But the big tip that I have for attackers here, not defenders, is going to be when you get the point to here, don't slam everybody here. If you have any sort of long-range hit scan or even a support, this position is really, really good. It gives you deeper sightlines. It gives you longer sightlines. It gives you more aggressive and more defensive sightlines while still creating enough distance between yourself and the enemy team. People really never use this position. Even like these positions, like for example, even like this here or rotating here is something that you want to be utilizing. Again, people tend to kind of clump on the left and forget the right. Makes it a lot easier to finish off this point. This guy thinks moves aren't real. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So we're going to continue with the attackers tips here. Flankers. Everybody seems to know this flank, which is, I think, a very high risk, high reward. It's not bad, but very high risk, high reward. But I think the much more consistent flanker position, if you're playing a support that wants to do something fancy, or if you're playing a DPS, is go through here. Like when you're here, this position gives you so much more defensibility and so many more options, and nobody uses it. Not literally nobody, but not enough people use it. Highly, highly, highly recommend using this tunnel when you're recontesting here. And defenders, you need to be aware of this as well. All right, we're going to cruise through this one. Last thing I'd probably say is maybe for second point attackers as well. If you are stuffing this choke and you are playing a short range character, Junkrat, Reaper, Genji, they go really hard right here. They go really, really, really hard. You can get put. Make sure the fight is happening here, obviously, but it's like really painful for them. And and defenders, when you're recontesting this, please do not walk out at the choke. Walk out and create a split here. That should sound familiar. Most of the tips in this guide are going to be stuff about don't retake through a nasty choke as 5. It's miserable. For this one, the main thing that I have is really more for defenders, which is you really need to be very decisive. If you're holding here, highly recommend utilizing this angle here or using this angle here. Again, don't stack up on here. What will end up happening is the attackers will end up taking that high ground away from you and poking down from above. Attackers, my one tip for you is to indeed use this high ground and poke from above. Defenders, utilize this. Defender position here, attacker position here. If you can get it, it's great. Final thing I'll put for this one as well is attackers, if you're struggling to break through this choke here, you can angle through here, but also if you have any sort of mobility, you can wrap around. This is kind of a high risk, high reward way to break that choke too. So just keep that one in mind. What's up, Yoshiki? We'll keep moving on. Any questions with Circuit, guys? Before we restart and jump in. Yeah, the position is hard to take if you go to Widow, absolutely. The Widow, it shuts down that sight line 100%, but you can still rotate deeper through right and kind of utilize that mega position. But yeah, also keep in mind that Circuit I anticipate is going to get some minor reworks at some point in the future. I think that they've confirmed that. So I don't know when that's going to be happening, but yeah. Do a sexiness tier list. No, that's okay. It'd be too simple. You get what I'm saying? Okay, let's talk about Dorado. So this is another one of the ones that I think are on the chopping block for changes here. Yashiki, check out Spylo 3. Check out Spylo 3. I think it got posted a few days ago. Hey, chicken. Oh, water. Got it. Yeah, it's the most recent video on Spylo 3. And it's timestamped, I believe, as well. Yeah, yeah. Spylo 69, yeah. So Dorado, the biggest thing with Dorado is it's like being creative with pain points. Like the problem with Dorado is it's very similar to a lot of the other maps where people see something as being awkward or painful and they don't make a solution to it. Like for example, attacking this point here can be very painful, right? It's not as bad as it used to be, but people get stuck here. So what is the solution? Well, if you have the time or the mobility, wrapping around to here can cause a lot of chaos, cause a lot of problems, right? Same thing happens here in this choke here. Wrapping around the top left, taking the time to take pop out top right, right? There's obviously a risk in every single one of these actions, but it's usually worth the reward. Better than getting stuck in here. Very important for attackers and for defenders to know that that might be a possibility, right? Is to stuff these chokes, but to be prepared for those positions to be leveraged. Don't be surprised when people do that. Yeah. Same thing kind of goes with second point Dorado. Now, there's two things I want to point out with second point Dorado from an attacker standpoint. Number one, you have the capability of just essentially pushing cart underneath the high ground, not in the open from the high ground, but underneath the high ground until you get to here, and then maybe taking the time to assault high ground with ultimates, right? Or to just directly contest high ground immediately. Like get your Reinhardt up here, you know what I'm saying? Pin off the flank, get up here, set up here with hold your shield. That could be easier to do if you just won the previous fight. You have time to set up. But generally the first one is a little bit more consistent, and you even see this in pro play where people really don't contest high ground until the very last second. And that really applies to Defenders Dorado, and that's going to be my biggest tip for Defenders Dorado. Really be careful about giving up this high ground if you have good sightlines to use off of it. Having one person drop to contest like a tank so that everyone else can follow up is really useful. But please don't just give up the high ground entirely unless you literally are playing characters that get nothing out of it. Yeah, that's mostly it. But remember, I guess, again, for attackers, a little bit of chaos, DPS, if your team is getting stuck in the choke, taking angles around left side right here, taking the high ground around right side, causing some chaos. Again, know the pain points of the map and provide solutions, even if you get punished for it. It's definitely worth it. Third point attack. Now, this one is going to be one of the more interesting conversations that we have because I think it's important for defenders to establish themselves on high ground and then really utilize the glass to find out if they're looking to push you off. If they are, you need to really be disciplined with your cover, maybe even rotate to here, and then maybe even give it up entirely if your tank isn't with you. And then attackers, if they are hard marking you on high ground and you're like, I can't even go up here because I get instantly spammed out by Junkrat, well then, off angle here, shoot the tank in the back, right? Like your tank is pushing, shoot their tank in the back. If they have to contest you, they have to drop. They have to turn on you. Well, you can disengage. So it's basically defenders kind of have dealer's choice. They get to choose if they really want to grip high ground with all their worth. And if they do, well, then just play underneath them. And if they give it up, well, then fill that gap. Last point I'll have here is for attackers. Really be careful about spamming everybody on card. I think having your hit scan or your support sitting here and kind of being chilling really helps prevent stalling issues from being a problem because you can see everything and you're not in the middle of the rip tire or the annihilation from the Ramatra or the earth shatter. You're able to kind of keep, I can't tell you how many times that I've played this as an Ana, as a Cassidy and clutched the fight because I just kind of maintained my position here. I maintained my position here and didn't just throw myself on card. Mentions the glass. Must be some kind of PTSD. Okay, any other questions, y'all? This one is pretty simple. It's about knowing your pain points with the chokes and then providing solutions about them. And then as defenders, expecting those solutions to be flipped on you, right? Yeah, flanks do take a lot of time on this map. It's why it can be a very unfriendly map to a lot of other heroes. But the good news is that if you're not running a very mobile composition, a Junkrat can angle in here, right? A Junkrat can play underneath the high ground in second and just spam the tank, right? So go over first point defense, please. We kind of already talked about it, but the only thing maybe I'd add to first point defense is similarly to Route 66 defense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put 5 people here or 5 people here. Having one split off here can really deny cover, or having one split off here can really, I mean, I cannot tell you how many times my team has played here as an, and I've played here as Ana, and I just get free anti-nades, free damage because everyone's hiding from this high ground, and then I could just off-angle here and just murder everybody. And you could still heal your team from here too. So, yeah. Okay, we'll keep going here. Havana. Wait. That's not what I wanted. I needed to do, wait. I'm good. Okay, we're good. For a second, I gaslit myself. The new recoil is short and flake rounds. Yeah. Havana's a bit of a doozy. So Havana has a lot less space, again, at its base to move around. The obvious answer for first point attack is when the cart's early, utilize people that can put pressure from this room, and then you rotate to this here as attackers and get to this here. And then when the cart rotates out here, my tip is actually for defenders to not just throw yourself on this corner here, but to retake that high ground, because this is busted. This is so much free access to backline. So it's basically, it's like attackers, defenders. Attackers need to utilize this when the fight's happening here. Attackers need to utilize this when the fight is happening here. And as the fight leaves this corner here, defenders can retake it and fight and approach the backline there. Biggest thing I can tell. Hello, Sync. My day is going great. For this here, we'll focus more on defense here, because I think defense, a lot of people make the mistakes, again, of 5 stacking here when you can split out somebody here. But the more consistent split I find is having some sort of DPS or support or tank pressure here while your team is here. You can, again, off-angle, you can control this, as well as a lot of threats from attackers will come from this position as well. So don't, again, you want to kind of control the 2 main lanes of this fight. The other nice thing about this position here is this is super, super flexible for shorter range DPS. So this is a sniper map, right? But if you're playing Junk, Reaper, Torb, whatever, you can make this angle work. You just can't make this angle work most of the time. So just kind of keep that one in mind. That also applies to a lesser extent with attackers, but I would say for attackers, it's more likely trying to sneak up and apply pressure here, but yeah. Last thing I'll say here is that when you're close to capping, because this is often recontestable, please do not, like the end of Dorado, don't have everybody on cart. Again, I cannot tell you how many times I've clutched this fight because I've sat here as Ana instead of throwing myself on cart. Really important. Attack side, when the cart's here, don't forget to utilize this angle here. Very, very powerful. Attack side to here, when you're stuffing the choke, don't forget you can off angle and poke out tank from here. People also forget about this position for characters that have a little bit of mobility. Wall climbing up here or utilizing your mobility to get to here, super, super, super strong. Everybody knows this one, but this one just takes forever and is too far. Everyone wants to either hard flank here or brute force the high ground when this is just totally free. So just kind of keep that one in mind. For defenders, it's the same thing where you have such an overwhelming advantage. It's more about knowing that those angles exist and expecting people to utilize those angles as best as you possibly can. Any questions? This one's a pretty simple map. I'm going to DPS outside of my tank. And one support on bridge, another 2 on mini. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. It really depends. The split that you do on that map from like a professional level would depend more on the heroes that you're playing. And keep in mind that like we're about giving advice that for even like random rank players, right? Like it doesn't matter. This advice is applicable even without team coordination. It's advice that you can apply pressure even just by yourself. So Junkertown. First point, this map has gotten so much better. For defenders, it's really about utilizing this building here, either to apply pressure and tank and the choke here from the high ground, or from wrapping around applying pressure in the DPS and supports from here. If the fight devolves, you kind of want to rotate. You don't have to, but you can rotate around and apply pressure from here. For attackers, it's really simple. It's kind of similar. It's either about like utilizing this flank here, or if the card is really, really advanced, you can start here as a longer range DPS, and you just basically have this entire rotation all the way around the map, utilizing the cover and the health packs here. And this just was not possible back in the day. You kind of had to stop here. But with this building here, there's so many more options for deeper rotations, which I think has been a huge, huge, huge improvement. So really utilizing the rotations on either side of the map, depending on what character that you're playing. And don't just throw your corpse on the choke. If you're going to throw your corpse on the choke, take the position here. Now, I've got good news for you guys, because second point, we have a couple of solutions for you guys. The first one is to understand that, like Dorado, attacking through this choke here is so unbelievably bad. You have to take risks. You have to. If you're a longer range character, taking the time to rotate through this little thing here, out this way, and peeking out here can work. Taking the time to utilize your mobility to pressure from here can work. Taking the time to rotate from here. And if you're feeling really spicy, or you're playing something really sneaky or a short range character, rotate all the way to here and cause some chaos here. Your team might flame you for trolling, but you're stuck in the choke regardless. The biggest mistake that I see professional and ranked players make is that they lose a fight, they try to recontest second, all the high grounds are controlled, all the angles are controlled, and they just don't cause enough chaos. And that's going to be the consistent theme for a lot of these escort maps, is knowing when you're at a disadvantage, so being willing to take riskier plays. And you still want to play to your advantage. Like, I would never, almost never really hard flank here as Widow, because this just doesn't make sense for a Widow. But if I'm Junkrat, I'm lethal in this range. Why not? Why not? Oh, by the way, yes, chaos is in messy fights, as in splitting people up, as in going for solo flanks, as going for higher risk reward flanks. My default play here in ranked when I have trance as Zenyatta is to hard flank this map, because I have no footsteps. If I can time it with my tank, I can get here, I can bam, 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 on trance, and then sometimes I'll even use the rest of my trance to rotate out to a deep angle here so that I can keep consistent pressure from this position here. And I finally here, when you're recontesting defense here, again, I see the common mistake, 5 push through here. Always send somebody at least here, maybe here, maybe here. There's a lot of doors the defenders can recontest from. Choose the door that makes the most sense with the hero that you're playing. Soldiers, Cassidy's, Widows stuff, high ground, right? If you're playing more of a brute brawler, something like this can work as well. But yeah, again, split recontests, super, 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 super strong. Am I trolling if I like to walk up that hard flank as Ryan? You're not trolling. It's generally just a lot easier to keep track of you, so I would say it's less useful. Is this going on YouTube? That's the plan. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. So this one is really tricky. If you're defenders, I highly recommend having somebody contesting cart and then utilizing this little rotator here for the high ground pressure. Most people, even lower ranks, tend to be pretty good at doing this. The thing that attackers struggle with is everyone wants to try to contest that high ground through this tiny, tiny, tiny little choke. It's okay, but oftentimes the better solution is to just take multiple different angles to poke out the high ground. You're still operating at a slight disadvantage, but if you get a guy here, if you get a guy here, and if you're moving cart for free at the same time, you can put a decent amount of pressure on this high ground, because they're like, oh, gotta worry about that, gotta worry about that, gotta worry about that. So what you do is you go, okay, well, I might not have the high ground, but I can still take off angles on you. I can play here, I can play here, I can play here. And if you're playing a shorter range character, you can even do some fancy stuff here. Flankers, you got a direct access to wrap around behind and immediately pressure from behind here as well. Be creative. Be creative. And then the final tip for defenders here is when you're trying to recontest this, shocker, come out of both doors. Attackers, did you guys see the Ash game I played with the TimtheTatman thing? My mistake was that I decided to angle here through this room here on a late third point, when all you really need to do as a hit scan is playing like an angle here, or play like an angle here. Pretty much unstoppable. Is it ever appropriate for tanks to flank? Yes. Yes. Okay. Any questions before we move on to Rialto? As I roll my R and like a 3-year-old trying to do a somersault. Oh, but yeah, basically, if you're taking a flank or an angle that plays to your effective range, then yeah, it can work. Okay, Rialto. Is the general meta for Junkertown just plopping a slippery tank on cart and taking angles around it? The meta for Junkertown is really based off of the meta. So what I would expect the meta for Junkertown right now would be probably just to plop Sig on cart and DPS to take angles around it, because I think Sigma's pretty decent right now. But like if we were playing a brawl meta, it would probably be more like Ram kind of foolishness on cart at the highest levels. Is the right side of Junkertown third from the attacker's side ever useful around the hairpin? It can be. It can be, yeah. So the PC, other than practice, do you have some tips? Still the same fundamentals. Make sure that you have a decent DPI and a decent mouse, and then good luck with the practice. Aim trainers can be sometimes useful as well, but just because they're more fun than just grinding Vaxa, or you can grind Deathmatch as well. Okay. Rialto, let's talk about attacking here. Rialto attack. First off, don't go through the meat grinder through this choke. This is this single most important flank on first point Rialto right here. A lot of characters can utilize this. A lot of people like the high ground, but I find the high ground to be very inconsistent because it is very naked. But this angle here, same thing with that flank, super risky, depends on the character. But this angle here is generally like the lower risk, higher reward pressure for you. So highly recommend leveraging that. And again, defenders, be prepared for it. Like it's going to happen, so you need to be ready for it, and maybe even utilize it yourself versus their backline. So, transitioning to late attackers, all the angles here are pretty either naked or very like exposed, like you're basically by yourself. That doesn't mean that they're bad. It just depends on the character. So if you don't have a character that those angles work, what I really recommend you doing, oh my gosh, is supplementing your tank by playing indoors here, applying pressure onto their tank from an angle like this, or even utilizing the stairwell and applying pressure from this. It's just deny their tank the ability to just kind of tuck in here and not take damage. Even if you just peek in here and tickle his booty cheeks a little bit, you get what I'm saying? And defenders, be prepared for that to happen. And defenders really are often a lot more motivated to run the risk of going around and setting stuff up because you don't have the capability to set up stuff in this. You can do this because this doorway is pretty useful, but a lot of times it's sometimes better if you have the capability to run a little bit more risk with here, to run a little bit more risk from here, or if you're running a pretty decent flanker and you have like an ultimate, you can always take the time to rotate and apply pressure to backline from here too. Okay. Second point attack, good luck crossing the bridge. You need somebody to be able to leverage cart and play underneath the high ground. If they do win a point, you just need to get across the bridge and either get to this room here, get to the staircase here, or get to this here as quickly as you possibly can. If you are playing a sniper character, you might be too slow to rotate, but the good news is that you don't necessarily have to rotate. You can poke out and do a little bit of pressure from range. So that's nice here. For first fight as an attacker, they kind of soft spawn hold. Is there a good consistent flank to use? If they soft spawn hold, then you just need to be utilizing the high grounds that the spawn freaking gives you. This is it right here. Just use this. You can also make this rotation from here for most characters that have any form of mobility whatsoever. But yeah, attackers doing this. Attackers get to here. Don't get stuffed in the choke. Take the opportunity to rotate people to high ground. Don't get stuffed in the choke. Take the opportunity to rotate on an angle. And then when you're looking to cap here, utilizing this side of the map is really powerful. Defenders, utilize the high ground. Utilize the choke. And please, utilize different angles. I think this boat side of the map is fairly useful for flankers if you can set up all the way around. And if not, simply peeking out from multiple different angles. Don't just recontest the point as a clump. I always pop off on this recontest because my tank runs straight to point. Everybody looks at the tank, and I'll peek here as a May and just kill two. You know, it's super simple. Don't get stuffed in the choke seems like an oversimplification. Well, I mean, that's this in a nutshell. If you are stuffed in the choke, look to your periphery. So, of course, it's an oversimplification, but if that's what the population needs, that's what the population needs. Third point attack. This is where things I think get a little bit more saucy because this is where don't get stuffed in the choke isn't good enough because it's not easy enough to go, oh, I'm stuffed in the choke here. I should just hard flank here. Very high risk, high reward. Or simply hard flank here. Again, very high risk, high reward. Your more consistent option that a lot of characters can take is if you're stuffed in the choke, utilize this staircase here and look for an angle here. This is going to be a much more moderate amount of risk for what you're trying to do. Doesn't mean that you can't do these angles here. It just depends on the character. So utilizing this space here could be very useful. How do I take the high ground choke on second? What do you mean? Like from defenders or attackers, you got to be more specific than that. And which choke do you talking about? I assume you mean the staircase here. So from there, you're going to move on into attackers. So attacker, how do I take the second point choke here? Well, you don't. You really don't push out into this choke almost ever unless they've vacated the premises and held here. What you do is you maybe park somebody here and you focus on point and fanning the spread. Take the space that's elsewhere. It's the oversimplification, right? Where if the choke is held, move around, find the space elsewhere, pull them this way, rotate here. This is a pretty good spot to be as an attacker, here, or even here. You have options. You have choices. And then if they overemphasize and drop, well, then the choke is yours to take again. The high ground is yours to take again. So you punch them into the river. Okay, so then for third attack, similar kind of a situation here where, again, you're going to be stuffed in the choke. Defenders, be aware that they're going to be utilizing these angles. Attackers, please utilize those angles. That's the crucial thing. Again, it depends. You don't have to stay in the angle for too long, but you can at least poke out and apply a little bit of pressure, and be aware that that's going to be the case here. Again, don't just throw your body on the cart. I've had a lot of situations where I can recontest through here, kill 2, or even just distract 2, and we're able to win the fight as a result. Rialto is what I will say a very soft choke point. Basically, every single point has a soft choke, like some of the other escorts, but definitely more heavily. So your creativity is going to be your limiting point, and obviously timing every single creative approach with the rest of your team. Stefano. Shambali Monastery. Oh boy, this is a rough one. So Shambali is a tough one because a lot of the angles are kind of like third point Rialto, where they are just higher risk, at least earlier third point Rialto, where you don't want to all stay on a cart. But then you're like, well, I'm going to go top. Oh, never mind, I'm getting stuffed. All right, well, then what do I do? Well, I'm going to go, far right. Well, I'm a million miles away. This one is hard. This is not a very well-designed map, I will say. I think this has been probably, next to Circuit, the worst designed map, I think, in Overwatch 2. Just because it is extremely punishing on the choke, and this carries all the way to the higher ranks. So I think the idea for you has to be more of fill the space where they are not. In the same manner that a Juno tries to rotate away from threats, Havana's not an Overwatch 2 map. You need to fill space where the enemy isn't. So pushing cart is useful, and then maybe late rotating high, sneakily, especially if you're quick, can work, right? But if you get stuffed here, there's really nowhere for you to go. I generally find the most consistent use of space is somewhere on the right side. If you have any range or any sort of mobility at all, I think if I'm able to get the cart to here and kind of swing out wide here as an honor is in, I have a little bit more space. If I'm able to utilize this right side as a Tracer Genji, I like assaulting backline from this position here. It just feels more consistent, more safe. And again, for defenders, it's being aware that that's the case. And also for defenders, don't forget this here. Don't forget this here. This is super, super useful. And then for later on, again, if you're stuck in this choke here, this is the building of choice. And for attackers, I think this angle here, where the cart is here, and then you're able to poke from this position, because you can actually poke from this position here, or even better, rotating to this position here in late contests is super, super, super strong for any sort of poke DPS or support. Basically, it's just finding the angle that you can use. If I'm here, I can cause holy terror in here. If the cart is here, then I can cause pressure here. If the cart is very advanced, then finding the rotation all the way around behind. And honestly, if the cart's advanced, even sitting in here as well. Really, this applies to both attack and defense. I think this is a little bit worse for defenders here. Defenders mostly just utilize this side of the map, or maybe play this high ground here, or maybe play this high ground here. But for the most part, it's about like there's usually only one other choice. And I think that's what makes this map so hard, is there's usually 2 choices for an angle in Overwatch 2 on most maps, on most points. With this one, there's usually only 2 choices. So it's either main or somewhere else. Attackers, hug the wall. Push cart, hug the wall. Rotate your backline to here if you can, or go crazy with it if you've got mobility and wrap all the way around behind. This is really tough to attack. It's a narrow choke. There's not a lot of angles. There's not a lot of sight lines. You can be very exposed. There's not a lot of cover. So you need to be creative with how you're approaching it. Defenders, make this rotation painful. Don't just dump your damage here. Throw a soldier here with a mercy pocket, or just a soldier period. Throw your tracer kind of tailing and nagging from behind here if you'd like to. If you don't have ultimates, roll the dice and do something silly like Hydra Cassidy in the room and pop out with high noon. If you got to make plays work, there's a lot of them. You can really play for this choke too. And I think the common mistake that I see here from defenders is if you're playing this choke here, you can set up people here. Really, really oppressive to have that little bit of a crossfire. Attackers, if you're stuck in this choke, be aware of this split. And if you have mobility, you might need to rotate all the way around coast side and apply pressure from behind here. But besides that, there's not a lot of really good choices here. This is a very choke heavy map. There's only usually one other choice. Now, there's one more really nasty choke here for attackers and defenders, and it's this one right here. Guess what? The one other choice. Attackers and defenders, be aware that you live and die on whether you're able to contest and creative control this choke. Now, defenders, if you have your team set up on high ground, you don't really want to hold this choke. You want to kind of play around this position here. And if attackers, if they let you out of this choke, please utilize this side of the map to apply pressure. This map opens up, and then you can even deepen your flank from using their old spawn room and flank all the way around behind this way. But yeah, I mean, this is a brutal map. Again, you're noticing consistent theme. There's one choice and then another choice, usually main and then one flank. And so there's a lot less creativity allowed, and it's more about your execution, the timing, the mechanics, the cooldown usages on those angles. Because even I find low-ranked players utilize these angles because it's really the only other option available. How do teams decide whether to hold the first choke or not? It depends on the composition more. Like if I'm playing more snipers, you can hold here, but this is a lot more attractive for characters that are a lot better with Maywalls, Reaper, Junkrats, Rams, stuff like that, whereas the more space is more conducive to characters that have a little more range, Onizens, Widows, Ashes, and so on. Stinky Pinky, what ends up happening is at the more high-risk options become more about the attention you get and less about the immediate kill threat. So high-risk options still work, but it's more about like kind of serving as a distraction, less as a direct threat, if that makes sense. So yes, I think they do scale well. You just have to change how your execution of that exact strategy is. Great question. Okay, Gibraltar here. Gibraltar is one of the more unique ones where payload is so unbelievably far from, like Dorado's second point, far from the high grounds that a lot of the time this is one of the maps where we talked about flankers pushing carts and allowing their backlines to reposition. This is one of them. The key thing for attackers here is, guys, freaking use this freaking building, guys. Like, get up here, get here, peek here, and peek here. You got any sort of range. There's so many people just live and die here and just like let the defenders use this high ground here and let the defenders use this high ground here. It's not as good as that high ground, but it's an option, right? And nobody uses this building, and it's such a woeful crime. Trying to take high grounds and take positions from there. And then crucially here, a lot of the time is it's okay to have one person on cart and to kind of leverage cart to force people's attention onto cart while everybody else is pushing high ground here. You can push from here, you can push from coast side, right? You generally very rarely want to have 5 people on cart here. You need to have some sort of threat on the high ground while somebody else is on cart. And then crucially for attackers here as well, get your cheeks off of cart, get here. And if you have the character for it in time, getting here is super strong. Defenders, don't all walk out of this room here. They've done a really good job of this map opening up options. This recontest here is really strong for supports. Utilize it. Don't get yourself stuck in the choke here. The question I have is, when do defenders rotate to back high ground just before second point? Depends on where the card is. If I've lost the fight here, I should probably already go and establish the fight here. You're asking a question that has the answer kind of already built in, right? Where's the fight happening? That's where you should set up. If you don't know where the fight's happening, look at the enemy team, look at your teammates and make that decision. It's pretty simple, right? You just need to read the field, and the cart can help you make that decision. So if I'm here on high ground and we've lost 2 or 3 people and I need to back up, maybe that's a good time to go ahead and start rotating to that high ground, because this is where the next fight's going to happen. When do you contest card as a defender? When do you stop forcing as an attacker? Depends. If you're close to capping, keep pushing. If you're forcing people to drop and look at you, then keep contesting card as a tracer. Like you being here while your team is fighting here as a tracer, you are on an angle, essentially. Are non-dive tanks playable here? Yes. Non-dive tanks often have a much easier time clearing the high ground entirely because of their superior sustain. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy. I mean, that's the key thing. None of this is going to make the maps easy for you. For sure. Okay, attackers here. Please split your attention. Play out of multiple of these door frames and apply pressure. Either on this here or this here or this here. Don't all sit on the floor. Find ways to rotate and oppress, push, pressure high ground whenever you possibly can. Defenders, don't all fall on card. One person contesting card is fine. Utilize your high ground. Utilize your angles to apply pressure. I think top of plane can work if they have a lot of poke. It doesn't work out as well because you can get shot out. But you could still play inside plane and rotate accordingly. And then kind of the similar thing for attackers is like when you're getting close to capping, don't all fall in cart. Keep somebody up here just in case. Keep somebody here just in case. Same kind of an idea here. Really important. There's consistent themes that I hope you guys are seeing from map to map here. So... okay, so attackers here, this one is really, really, really brutal. There aren't a lot of angles that you can play. You can roll the dice and attack from this flank here, but the way I like to treat it for attackers is try to brute force the cart to here, poke, be patient, whatever, and when you get a chance, either take the high ground here, or if you're not playing a high ground poke character, utilize this angle here, right? You can use it, or even smoke a little kush, you know, and put pressure from here. This side of the map is really underutilized for attackers and defenders because it's really the only other angle that you're allowed to play. And if you have a short range character, you can really cause a lot of chaos in there. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, like, oh, play the high ground if you got a hit scan. But what if you don't have a hit scan? Don't forget this room. Don't forget this room. Really don't forget this room. And as defenders, be aware that that room is a threat. Utilize it yourself if you have the characters for it. Shut up, Melio. Well, I would say, yeah, just play to your strengths on this map all the way through. I mean, that's going to be the general principle here. That's going to be the general principle here. Last thing I'll say here is this. You can, if you have mobility, look to get up and over. It's definitely a high risk, high reward here. You only play top. Melio, you're not telling me that you've never been dove by a tracer approaching you from this angle. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Not at your rank. This is like such a common approach for a tracer, Samba, or even a Genji. It's like the freest thing ever because it's so much harder for them to track, for you to track where they're coming from. Or Torp. I mean, yeah. If I'm playing Torp there and there's a Widow sitting up there, I'm popping Overload and flanking that with that turret, you know? I'm coming out here, I'm throwing turret down, I'm causing chaos. Get the joke challenge? Well, that's why I said he's gaslighting me. I don't even know anymore. Is it okay for a Genji to use that room and be that far? Yeah, so I mean, it is a long flank, right? If you can sit here and poke out their tank without committing, then maybe it's okay, you know? You don't have to hard flank it necessarily. I mean, Melio is a European hit scan player, so I mean, the expectations are pretty low here. Okay, any questions? Because I think that's all the Escort maps, y'all. Did he just diss me? Well, I mean, it's pretty easy, you know. Hydrate, thank you. Racism against the EU race, yes. Could you be more thorough on breaking first point, choke on second? Sure, why not? So, the biggest thing that you have to do is you got to use your windows. You got to approach from multiple splits. You got to, if you got the range for it and they're not on Widow, poke it out here. Send somebody here, poke it out there. If they do have range and you can't contest it, your best approach is often to sneak out here, hug the wall, and then find a way to quickly access the staircase or to get underneath plane. So if you can't access the high ground, just like Dorado's second point, the strategy is to play underneath where the high ground can't poke you out or to find the rotation to be able to get you. If you're playing like a flanker, you can even dash or blink through to here and then start to apply pressure from here. But that's absolutely the play. Either play underneath and then recontest at the last possible second or set up on your flanker wrap around there. Those are your only options, really. Now, if you have like great range, you sometimes don't even need to rotate at all. You can just poke. But yeah. The screen is shrunken. What? Any other questions? That was a good one. How do you manage this while also avoiding the diving raid boss tank? You don't. You just shoot them. I mean, that's just that's an impossible question to answer. Route 66, that was the first map we did. Skip back in the Twitch VOD and you'll check it out. freight train or freight boat, lighthouse. Little patrol boat here. What do we got here? Another lighthouse. Another, looks like a freight boat. Can't quite tell. Is it normal to have low damage but high kills and tracer? Yep, it can. How do you deal with a 5-stack on high ground second point? Either poke them out with characters that are better at poking, or if you don't have the capability, then do the rotation that I demonstrated underneath the high ground to force them to drop to you. Play out of their sightlines reach, just like Dorado. And then if you can recontest the high ground later. Weird, I think my Twitch was bugging out. Maybe so. Just shoot the monkey, guys. Yes, just shoot the monkey, guys. Just shoot the monkey. Just shoot him. It's so simple. Just shoot him. What else do we got here? Fog, clouds. Didn't know next to wall is out of there. LS. Yeah. Whoa, check it out. I mean, that is a really cool looking external thing. You know what I'm saying? Shoot the Hoover. That's right. Always shoot the Hoover. Winston Overwatch. Hoover watch. Okay. That is all. I will see you guys later. Stay fresh. I will see you guys on Saturday. Loves and kisses. Escort guide completed. TimtheTatman completed. Humiliating myself live on stream completed. Loves and kisses. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Spilo out.